Keenan's got his camera like with the art in the back. I was thinking about showing this wall right here. And I was like, nah, I like this setup better. It's more comfortable. I'm gonna still.
Well, I always try to show off my boys, not Spider-Verse, but my other friends' art every time I get on camera.
There you go. Represent. That's right.
Represent. Hello, everyone's. Welcome to the BlkWmnAnimator 2,500 subscribers celebration live with my friends.
Yay! Give it up to Deborah. That's serious business right there.
Woo, raise the roof.
Absolutely. We're gonna keep it up. We ain't gotta raise it. It's gonna stay up there.
I just want to do an old dance. Like just to show my age. So
Shit, if you showing your age, I'm in trouble.
You about to do the let's not go there. Anyway,
I'm about to do the WAP. I'm about to do the WAP or the swim or something.
I'm about the WAP.
Older than you, man. Swim?
I remember my mama doing that stuff when I was little. You
right.
Know what I'm saying?
So just want to welcome all my friends. Can y'all introduce yourselves? Let's start with Dre, then Keenan, then Monique.
What's up, y'all? This is Dre. Full name Andre Rodriguez, but everybody calls me Dre. What information? Where I'm currently at, or what I'm currently doing, or how?
All that.
Feeling,
you know what I'm
saying? All that. I'm currently feeling blessed, black, and highly favored. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm here with my folks. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I'm feeling. What I'm doing the most as usual. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm at right now, that's currently Pixar. And in the sets department, I'm a technical director in the sets department, and I'm also working on a short that I'm writing and directing right now.
That's smooth. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Keenan. All day.
It's always hard to follow Dre.
Yeah.
Because Dre, I feel like I'm following a breakdancing video game. He's the guy that's talking over the start menu. Anyway, jokes aside, thank you for having me, Deborah. Congratulations on 2,500 followers. My name is Keenan Jerome Floyd. I got my start in the industry in visual effects. Right now, I'm kind of embarking on my own little thing where I'm trying to create my own content for different platforms. I don't know. You can follow me on Instagram at Keenan J Floyd, but I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Okay, I am Monique at Simple Robotics, which you see down there. I host a podcast by the same name, talking about working in the animation industry and reviewing animated content. I am working as a production coordinator on feature film, on 2 feature films at the moment. I'm also producing a short film, and I feel like that's it. I think that's it. Yeah. And I also have a YouTube channel if y'all guys want to check it out as well.
Yeah. Just want to highlight some folks. Thank you, Adam. Woo. Of course, you know, she's here, but you know, gotta highlight Ryan. Thank you. Obscure Delusions.
Obscure Delusions.
Yeah, I see them around Instagram often.
Let's see. So basically, just to celebrate, I want to have my friends on live and then just be chopping it up about random topics. So I went on Reddit. Ooh. And
deep dive.
not the dark part.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's animation topics. And so I just want to chop it up around these topics. And then if anybody else has any like cool topics, y'all can put it in the chat. So first Reddit topic is, how do you feel about celebrities versus professional voice actors for animated movies and television shows?
So in this particular question, they're separate. Like a celebrity.
Yes. Like, okay. You know how, you know, back in the day, it was more like your Mel Blancs and all the professionals, your Cree Summers even. But now it's like celebrities for clout and views.
It's funny you asked this question. I was just having this conversation the other day about how in our industry, you know, like say like VFX, animation, like writing, like, you know, like back of the house kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a name, we'll still test you. Like when you come in, we're gonna see if you really got the chops. But then in the world, like the front of the house, a lot of times you can have a name and be trash, and it's okay. And I think we definitely need to get rid of that. Pretty much, that's me. Like I don't give a damn about a name.
I find it to be a bit distracting at times, depending on the celebrity that's voicing the character. Because oftentimes the celebrity's just coming in with their voice. So it's like for instance, love Rihanna. But I remember watching Home, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah,
Okay.
home.
For some reason I always call it like Away in my mind, but it's Home. And I just remember like
Away.
basically. And I just remember like it's just kind of like I couldn't really stay in the movie. And I think Jennifer Lopez voiced her mom in that. And big Jennifer Lopez rom-com fan. So that's just all I was hearing, you know. And I think of Secret Life of Pets, Kevin Hart being the rabbit, and I think that's a decent enough example of like, even though I can really hear his voice, it kind of just fit that character. So I was able to, stay more in the world of the movie. But I do miss how it was just not big name celebrities. And then because of the actor brought their talent to the voice, it's like then they became famous or then got their notoriety because of that. Instead of just like, obviously they're like, okay, this big celebrity is voicing this character. This is a reason to go watch it now, and it's like, not really.
Monique, it's interesting that you mentioned Secret Life of Pets because I actually just started watching. I actually just started watching it for the first time the other day, and that's because my friend Rob is letting me use his Peacock password.
Can you say that out loud?
But
oh yeah,
they ain't Netflix. Yeah. Please come on. The interesting thing, because the main character in the original one was done by Louis C.K., right? That was the dog in the original one, right? And when you think about it in perspective, it's like no child that's going to see The Secret Life of Pets really knows who Louis C.K. is.
True.
Right. Yep. So when you're in the boardroom and when you're listening to the dog, it sounds like if you know Louis C.K.'s comedy, if you don't, controversy, but he sounds just like the comedian does when he's doing stand-up. Mm-hmm. So I suppose it's something for the parents, maybe, but he didn't contribute to the $900 million that the movie made. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like when people are bringing up these names, I don't think it necessarily matters for their audience because it's for kids and stuff. I mean, I think Toy Story might be a flash in the pan in a sense because all of the actors that did the characters of Toy Story really defined those characters. Like they really made it, they really like brought those characters to life. So that might be like a flash in the pan. But normally when they bring up these names like Beyonce and Rihanna and all this stuff, they don't really bring much to the film. So to me, I don't really necessarily know. I don't think that names in the animated film particularly is really what's the draw to the project.
But I feel like that's what they're thinking, that they're like celebrities are going to draw more people to it. And also I feel like on a previous production that I was on that had like a lot of like celebrities, some of them ended up being like really good. But something that I learned, like, okay, so people think, like the layman kind of thinks that voice acting is easy, and voice acting is actually harder than acting because you have to embody the character in only your voice and you can't rely on like body language and stuff. But on a previous production, I discovered through like being in the like Zoom voice recordings that taking direction is a skill. Like some people cannot take direction, and some of these people are like either celebrities with egos or Instagram people that they trying to like, okay, this person's popular on Instagram, so let's give them an opportunity. And some of them are just like, oh yeah, this is actually a different skill set. And so that's what I learned is like, you have to be able to take direction. And so a couple examples was, one character, it was like a news reporter, and so she started in her news reporter voice, and then she had to flip to the sister girl voice, and the girl couldn't do the sister girl, even though she was black. She couldn't do the sister girl, and it was like the voice director was trying to be like, mimic me, do exactly what I'm doing, and it is like she couldn't comprehend like the copying of the voice director. And so that's when I think voice acting, the professional voice actors are important, because there's a skill that comes to it. And then I got to work with like Gary Anthony Williams, and him just like cycling through his brain to create a character for oh, this is their job, this is what you're trying to do. What about this voice? What about this voice? What about this voice? And then you're like, when you see a professional voice actor, you're like, oh wow, you have like way more respect if you already didn't, or if you already did, like you just have even more respect for them.
A lot of us can't do it. I mean, I think it's more people than what people are willing to admit. And I keep thinking of like when Beyonce was in The Lion King, right? Mm-hmm. Like obviously when they were in the boardroom, they were like, yeah, if we get Beyonce to be in this, it's going to be amazing and blah blah blah. But then when we heard the voice come out the lion, we were distracted by her voice, but like for the wrong reasons. Mm-hmm. So just because you have,
I was distracted by the whole film, but
yes, well, yeah, the whole film. But I mean, yeah, when it came to Nala, people were just kind of like, right? With all due respect to Sasha Fierce and all that stuff, but
during Virgo season, like her birthday month, you're doing a lot, Keenan.
It doesn't.
Here we go.
You guys see his act. The Beehive kick. There he is.
But what I mean, but what I mean by that is it doesn't necessarily the thought of it on paper is a good idea, but it doesn't necessarily, because not everyone has that skill. Mm-hmm. She has amazing other skills, but maybe like that in that particular section it might not. So I really think it's about.
I think it goes back to just. Remember how you were mentioning Toy Story, right?
Yeah.
I think it goes back to why people are showing up in the first place, right? So you have all these execs that don't have any creative experience. Plus, they're not really interested in being creative, right? They just want the bread. They just want the money from it. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you think about movies like Toy Story, or even better yet, it's live action, but Star Wars, right? Mm-hmm. I was talking to one of my peoples about just movies and about how much celebrity brings to a film or how much it doesn't, right? And I said, man, when you talk to Star Wars fans, they don't mention Harrison Ford. They say Han Solo.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford is one of the most famous actors now. But anytime people talk about Star Wars, they don't mention him. They mention the character. Right. And that's what it's about. If you have the right people in the right room, they're not thinking about celebrity. They're thinking about who's going to fit in this role and who's going to represent this character.
Exactly.
I think when it comes down to it, just execs come into the room and say, okay, what's hot right now? Right there. If you can't rebut that with talking about how well the story is, your story is probably whack from the beginning anyway.
As Black people, we gonna make it hot. We don't gotta worry about that.
We make it hot. Yes, exactly. Like you can come in and voice, but let me tell you, the way we wrote the character is thick and layered. You dig what I'm saying? So
you underdid.
I don't think we got to worry about like having, it's like we gonna make you famous off the character. It's not the other way around.
And then the executive's like thick and layered. What is thick like peanut butter? What are we talking about? I don't
get on that. Yeah, research thick and layered. Get on that.
Is this a BET thing? What is happening? This is
So since we brought up the 2019 Lion King, let's foray into what y'all think about remakes and like this obsession with like realism in 3D. Like, what do y'all think? Monique's face.
Because sorry, Dre, to cut you off already. Like, I love The Little Mermaid so much, and I love Halle Bailey, and
that's the only remake I've seen in recent years.
I've seen almost all of them because they do get me with nostalgia. But it was still very challenging with that at moments, which I had tweeted about, was just like the accents and to go back into like casting and stuff like that too, right? And Sebastian. And I just could not Oh my gosh, now it's all come back to me. Sebastian is actually like a good reason to talk about like celebrities because they picked someone from Hamilton, right? To do the
Yeah.
voice. And he was doing like a Jamaican accent. And
Right.
then in his
Did you say Jamaican?
yes.
I never heard that before.
Oh, where you been, Dre?
Sorry,
so he was,
I've never heard that.
oh yeah, it's real.
I guess the Jamaicans I talked to are real, so I never heard that term.
Yeah, it's a real term. So you're welcome. No, joking.
Wow. Wow.
So the actor is doing that. And I remember in the promo interviews, he was talking about like, well, this is a fictional story. Sebastian's not really from anywhere. So he didn't really see the purpose per se in like committing and investing to this accent, right? And I was like, that's even like worse. Instead of just admitting that maybe you just didn't hit the nail on the head with it, you reducing it to being like nothingness. But we know that The Little Mermaid takes place in like the Caribbean seas, and for the movie there were actual Caribbean people with speaking roles in the like town and village and all that sort of stuff. So it's like, as much as I like was enjoying that remake for like what it is and like contained, and I have to accept like this is not for me, this is for whatever new generation and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that voicing for Sebastian. Oh, and then I also don't like Aquafina. So Scuttle was really hard. Like I always wanted him to shut up throughout the whole movie.
I really wanted to, because I found out about Aquafina like right before the film, and I'm like, dang, I wish I had went in not realizing that she was a character, and like I wonder what my takeaway would have been. Like, would I would still be annoyed? I kind of just wanted it like a clean test, but I got tainted, so I was just like, oh
damn.
Well,
wow. Aquafina taints black folks. Jesus.
That's
yes.
And to be honest with you, that's my issue with the co-opted version of woke of Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Because and I say co-opted for a reason, because it's not the real version, the real black version.
Absolutely.
Because to them it doesn't matter. To them it's a paycheck. And the whole thing about The Little Mermaid, I mean, what I was pleasantly surprised, but at the same time too, I was kind of like, yo, it's kind of messed up that they did it this way. How they were selling the new Little Mermaid as the first black Little Mermaid. That was like the controversy. Halle Bailey is the first black Little Mermaid. And you go see the movies, and there's a lot of black mermaids in this movie. I mean, the second frame is this dark-skinned sister with a huge afro talking to Javier Bardem, like, yes, father, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo. And her name was like Tamika or something. Like, it was like.
That's her sister.
I'm not making this. It was a sister in this movie. And I'm just like, yo, how come we didn't talk about. And then at the end, you remember at the end of the movie when all the mermaids come out of the water? You're like, damn, that's a lot of Jamaicans. Like, you're like, that's what I said in the movie. So
I haven't seen the film, so this.
Wait, but Keenan, you know that mermaid that you're talking about is one of Ariel's sisters.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Like,
no,
it wasn't.
I know she's like all seven.
Yes.
Right, the seven sisters. Yeah, I know. But it felt like that the focus of the,
like, we didn't know about it until the movie, like the other black person.
Yeah, it just seems like that their focus on getting butts and seats was a political reason, when in reality, in my opinion, Little Mermaid's a black movie. Basically, I mean, there's enough black people in this movie where you could kind of be like, okay, this is almost like a 3/4 black movie. You know what I mean?
Do we have like rates like that? Do we have 3/4 black? Is that? I mean, is that dude, black?
If you've seen Brandy and Whitney Houston's Cinderella,
I saw that back.
That's 2023 Little Mermaid.
Okay.
And nobody had a problem.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they had like everybody, and then like
I have issues with this stuff. I ain't gonna lie.
The interesting thing about like Monique talking about Daveed Diggs like voicing Sebastian, it was like for everything else about the movie was woke, but y'all like dropped the ball on having an actual Caribbean person voice. I'm like, everything is so woke in 2023 and 2022, but y'all was like, let's just still do a fake Caribbean accent. Like I just was so confused.
You know what I think that is?
It was lazy.
I think that just comes down to the people that are making the decisions, right? Since they're not from the soil, you can't really expect them to hit stuff correctly. You know what I'm saying? They might get a little something right. Kind of like when you see a motherfucker that can't dance. Oh, I'm cussing too much. My bad. A person that can't dance, right? They get on the dance floor and they might hit the Running Man like 3 cycles, right? And then they skip and mess up, right? That's them. Don't expect them to continue to be able to do the Running Man and look smooth. It just doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like just I let that go. I know damn well anytime they do anything that's supposedly, we'll say diverse. I like saying black, but just to include everybody, we'll say diverse. You know they're gonna get it wrong because they're not in the, just like what Monique said, right? A Jamaican accent. They're not in the mix with the folks, so they don't know, right? And they don't care to know. They really don't.
Well, and I also think that they think that woke means politically correct, which is out of fear, which is out of checking boxes.
That's what I mean.
So,
and if they kicked it with us, it wouldn't. If they actually were here kicking it with us, it wouldn't be that. They'd be like, no, wait, that doesn't seem right. My boy Keenan told me blah blah blah.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
exactly. They're not really asking the source. They don't know they don't know the ingredients to the sauce. And that's why when we go see these movies, like what Monique said, it's like, oh, there's an ingredient missing. And it's actually the most important ingredient to making this whole thing work.
Something that just popped into my head is that like when I saw the behind the scenes of a movie that's on Netflix, and the thing was they had it was like, okay, let's just say like the Barbie movie, one of the Barbie movies, there's like 5,000 Barbie movies, but there was like a Brooklyn Barbie and then Malibu Barbie. So Brooklyn Barbie's black and Malibu Barbie's white.
Brooklyn Barbie. Okay.
Yeah. And so there was like, they had like these bad girls and one of the bad girls was black. And so they were like, oh, is that going to cause a stir? And the black person that was on the production was like, no. And they were like, oh no, we don't believe you. So they made that person blue or like green. And it's that they're catering to woke white people, not black people. Yeah. So it's not black people that are going to get upset. It's white people who get it wrong that are going to get upset.
So instead of Brooklyn Barbie, they turned her into Bushwick Barbie.
Damn it, man.
Wait, I want to come back real quick. Sorry, because Dre and Keenan, you guys were talking about stuff with Little Mermaid that was very valid. However, I believe Lin-Manuel had something to do with the music in The Little Mermaid. Mm-hmm. So though he may not be of the culture, he's not as far removed as some of the people higher up. And I believe that's why that Hamilton dude, I don't know his name, was also casted as Sebastian, was just because it's like just people, proximity. It's like, of course, I'm going to put my homie in my film to do this thing, even though they may not be the right fit for it, but like whatever, connections, relation stuff. And I think that also puts more like fault to Lin-Manuel, because being that he may not be Jamaican, he has Caribbean relations and still like was lazy about that and allowed it to be like, well, it's all fiction, so it doesn't really matter. So
I'll audibly say that I'm refusing to go on my Lin-Manuel tangent, because I feel like I should keep I feel like it's for the group chat.
Oh yeah, well, I'm not a fan. I want him to retire.
I think Lin-Manuel is a collaborator anyway, so.
Well, and Monique, to your point, I mean, a lot of times, especially the way that Disney works, particularly over the years, there's like particular people that they go to, particularly like, and that's how Hollywood works. It's like they have the man or woman, that's the person, and then they just get most of the work, right? Yeah. So the question really comes to, how does that person work? You know what I mean? Does that person brings in consultants and advisors and all that stuff to help them get the voice right? So to your point, yeah, I agree with that.
And when I hear those terms, they bringing in consultants and advisors. Yeah, I know what I'm getting. Yeah. Instead of just saying, maybe we should just hire Monique to direct it.
Like, it's like they're checking their diversity box and saying, well, we get this person, so we know he's going to have all the other stuff covered. So
yeah. Keep them with the analogy. They'll do the Running Man at a club with just them in it, right? Only they in the club. Like, we ain't in the club to be like, bruh, that's not working, right? The rest of the people on the sidelines are like, dude, he did the Running Man so awesome.
Well, I mean, the thing is that if you live in Los Angeles for any period of time as a Black person in the industry, you get annoyed because everything in Los Angeles is the best. Like Deborah and I were having this conversation about food, right? And every time you see something like a fried chicken spot, and to me and Deborah, it might not be the best. It might actually be gross, actually, right? But you have someone that's paid that will come in and be like, "Oh, this is the best fried chicken in California, the best fried chicken in the world," and blah blah blah. So, I mean, that's very.
I love the shimmy in the chair.
I mean, but that's what they do. They're like, this bland fried chicken and white bread is great. But you know what I mean? That's the face that they want people to put on. You guys keep calling me, but
it's so layered because like stuff. It like if we do and I won't say. I differentiate between the LA mentality and the Hollywood mentality because I know like native LA people are like that's a different thing, and so I like to say the Hollywood. So LA natives, we here, I'm not trying to, but the Hollywood, and that's still in LA. But like the Hollywood mentality is so layered of even if we go to the food, I'm still attributing that to the Hollywood mentality of like stuff being so watered down here, but then touted as the best, and then it's like you got all these different ethnic groups who are like making everybody else's food and they could be doing it right, they could be doing it wrong, but that's how like Hollywood film is too. So it's kind of like so multi-layered that they're like, oh, like even when I interviewed Dan Haskett and he was talking about his experience on Mulan of they're like, oh, you're Black, so take care of the Asian stuff, and it's just like, but what? I'm not Asian though. Like, what does that mean? So is it because I'm a person of color? Like I know all the, or I'm more willing to like research it to try to be better, and so it's just like I feel like even living here, that culture, you can see the parallels of like the culture of living here in the Hollywood thing and actual Hollywood of like watered down and like, oh, we'll try enough. But it's actually not enough. It's interesting.
I will say this. Shout out to one of my peoples. I ain't gonna put his name on this channel, but I got folks that definitely out in that area. And homeboy's from Compton. He doesn't say he's from LA. He says he's from Compton.
Right.
He was like, don't say I'm from LA. Like he's very adamant. Like I'm from Compton, California. I was like, damn, okay. Yeah, you don't want to be associated with with LA. I get it. There's definitely a lot of names out there that are like that. And some of them be like, look, I'm not even from like this city. I'm from this street.
Right.
Yeah. They'll be like, I'm from 35th California. Like, damn, they really like they're being very clear about don't associate me with any of these other cats. We got a particular culture over here. So
that's how I want it to be about millennial. Like y'all, like people from like about mid-20s. I'm like, can we just go back to Generation Y? Because y'all just writing article after article about us, and it's not even a good thing to be a millennial. Can I go? I'm just Generation Y at this point.
You also got to think who's writing the articles, right? They're probably, again, going back to the analogy, they're the ones that try to do the Running Man and can't. They just right. they don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Gotta see. You
keep bringing up the Running Man, and I just recently saw like the that clip of Beyonce surprising people at schools, and they're like doing a Running Man, and that young lady, she was trying. She kind of did it backwards, but
yeah, I'm trying to think of I thought of a dance that's like really simple because it's kind of like skipping.
So right, but I literally just saw that the other day where she was like, a girl was doing the Running Man horribly, but
hilarious.
All right, so. Which character from a movie, TV show, or video game would you like to see in an animated movie? And it doesn't have to be a character from it doesn't matter if it's a character from a live action project. Like if you have like this live action 70s TV show that you're like, oh man, I would love to see that as an animated project, So again, the question is, which character from a movie, TV show, or video game would you like to see in an animated movie? And why?
I have a random one. So
okay. The more random, the better.
When Guardians of the Galaxy first came out, I actually thought it was a Star Fox movie or something. So the fact that it isn't, I still would want something for Star Fox. And now I've never played any of his games. I've only played Smash Brothers. but I've always found it to be very intriguing to me because I could just go on YouTube and find out what's the deal with this character. I still don't even know, but I'd like it a lot. And then also in terms of Smash Brothers, Samus, I also never played those video games, but I think it doesn't need to be maybe a whole feature. Maybe it could be like a mini series, but I'm just very interested in those two characters.
Monique, there's actually a Star Fox short film anime.
Look at that.
YouTube. I'll send you the link.
Thank you.
Boom. Just like that.
No, I agree. Star Fox. I was having that conversation the other day with a buddy of mine about Star Fox.
Such an interesting character.
It would be like a dope movie or whatever. And I was researching and then I found it. So I'll send you the link.
Thank you. Community.
Hashtag. Hashtag community. Now, a character that I would want to. They already have an Assassin's Creed film, but it was trash though, right? So I would like to see, because I just recently finished playing Assassin's Creed Origins. I would like to see a properly well done Assassin's Creed movie with Bayek. Because I don't know if any of y'all play Assassin's Creed, but basically the first hidden one was Egyptian. And it would be, he's the one that started, and he didn't mean to start the hidden ones. It just, the way they did the story, the way his life played out, he inspired people just to, with his actions, to start like taking on, you know, the power structures of whatever like community they were in or whatever city. And it'd be dope to see like a rated R, no PG-13, rated R hardcore Bayek Assassin's Creed film. That'd be dope.
I would love to see a Meteor Man.
Hell yeah.
A Meteor Man cartoon or a Meteor Man. I mean, at this point, I'll take a Meteor Man like sequel or like a reboot or something.
I'll take that. Take that. Yep.
Especially with like the technology that we have now, whether it's animated or live action, it would be amazing. Because like back in the day when Robert Townsend was really getting down, you know, all of his movies were amazing, and they were all like, I'm talking like the Reading Rainbow era. You understand what I'm saying? How we were just on education and being good role models, and then we're awesome, and we got swag and all that stuff too. I'm gonna get greedy. I want to see a Meteor Man cartoon, and I want to see a Hollywood Shuffle series.
Ooh, Hollywood Shuffle series.
I'll just say Jerry Lee Bryce is in the comments, and I remember doing research for his interview and him being on Teen Summit era too. Teen Summit. So that was that good era of like trying to be role models and all that type of stuff.
Yeah,
we can bring it back. We can bring it back.
For those of y'all that don't know what Meteor Man is, it's about a teacher who gets hit by. Well, he doesn't get hit by. Does he get hit by a meteor? Yeah, he gets hit by a meteor in the movie, right?
No, I don't think he gets hit by the meteor. I think
a meteor hits like Brooklyn or something.
Imbued with the power, right?
It lands in Harlem, and he touches it, and it gives him temporary powers. But he's afraid of heights, so he can only fly like 2 feet above the ground or whatever because he's afraid of height. But what's cool about the movie is that they had and I'm blanking on the names, but they had a bunch of breakdancing groups, like famous breakdancing groups of the era, like in the movie. So it would be Meteor Man doing this stuff, and then it would have like these scenes where these breakdancing troops would like just show up and start dancing.
Speaking of blanking, y'all remember Blank Man?
And Blank Man?
Blank, hell yeah.
We need a crossover.
Genius. That's genius. Hell yeah. But the Hollywood Shuffle series, though, I think that's the one answer I heard that out of everything we just talked about, a Hollywood Shuffle series, yeah, I would like that.
Start a petition.
Right?
Start writing. Let me open up Final Draft real quick.
And one of the main characters that a reoccurring character, right? Not like main, but he always pops in and out. Jerry Curl. Gotta pop in and out. You know what I'm saying? Fling his shit and then bounce.
Yeah,
just tear up everything, right?
Do any of y'all follow Not Carlton Brinks?
No. Wait, let me look this up.
He has this character called Sweet. What is it? Is it just called Sweet? And he'd be like, he has a Jerry curl. He'd be like, oh jeez.
Hold on, let me see.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
He flicks his Jerry curl.
Whoa. Okay, I'm looking at him right now.
He has multiple characters.
Yeah. The one I'm seeing right now, he's got on a blonde wig. Well, silver.
Oh yeah,
silver.
that's Squint. So there's Squint, who can't see because she don't never have her glasses on or contacts on. And then in that video that I think you're looking at, Bun, who has attitude all the time. She just did her hair. So
I see a video that says God ain't no side piece.
Huh.
he does a lot of Christian stuff, but he has a character called Sweetie. But he has a jerk girl. So, but another random. Do you remember Homeboys in Outer Space?
Yeah,
Boys in Outer Space.
Homeboys in Outer Space. Yeah, I remember that.
Take me back, man.
That's who are the actors? Light skin and dark skin. Not Kid and Play though.
All right, here's Flex.
Flex.
Oh yeah, Flex Anderson.
Daryl from a different world.
Yes.
Was Flex on a different world? He was also on
No.
Was he on Moesha?
What House 101?
101. And he's also from the incredible VH1 blockbuster, The Michael Jackson Story.
Oh please.
Damn it, man. Damn it, man. That's how you gonna introduce it though?
Or was it a Lifetime movie? I can't remember.
That shade, that was a lot of shade right there.
I mean, Flex had on a lot of shade in that movie too.
Oh,
he looked like he got into a fight with a powdered donut and lost.
Why?
Poor Flex. He's just trying to make a living. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Flex, if you're watching this and I deliver your Uber Eats soon, please don't smack me.
He is a sizable cat. He got some,
Yeah, he is tall.
He got some guns on him.
To answer the question, I don't want to send Dre into the tirade, but I did a whole Instagram live on this. So Frozone movie, like in my IG live, we had the origin story of him and his wife, and they were on an HBCU campus. And did we make Frozone the Kappa? Like we went really black with it.
Dope. That's kind of dope. That's a dope idea, actually. But
I was like, in the ID live, I was like, please steal this storyline. Please take it from me.
Since I'm in a particular spot, I'm gonna leave this one alone.
Right.
I'm gonna leave it alone.
But I know the coals are burning.
yes, because I can say a lot. God damn it. Mm-hmm. I will say this though, with that kind of stuff, Pixar does get it wrong. So.
No, I was just saying I like the idea of a Frozone thing. Like I remember, Think Like a Man, right? Kevin Hart's character, Wendy Williams was the wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was thinking of Frozone's wife being a little bit like that character or something like that. But
yeah,
I like that idea.
Finally meeting the wife.
Well, when you look at Kevin Hart standing next to Wendy Williams, you think of Mice and Men, right? You think just like this massive character with this little pipsqueak, you know what I'm saying?
Pipsqueak.
Kevin Hart came to my college when he was like, building his notoriety, and we had him stand like next to a tall dude that we went to school with. Like, take this picture next to this tall dude to see the height difference.
That's not right.
It's like Kevin Hart's like the picture's always up here, right? With Kevin Hart, if you're trying to get the other person in the picture, right?
Yeah. So next topic is, what do y'all feel on the idea of animation being for kids?
I mean, it's for me, it's for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, I have a lot of conversations with folks at Pixar about what animation is and how they talk about family films. Mm-hmm. And I always ask, what family are you referring to? Like, describe the family that you're talking about when you use the word family.
That's true.
And
that's like when people say Americana. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, and right there, the conversation stops because they really never thought. They actually never thought about what the word family means. Mm-hmm. And I said, so how are you even making that statement then? Maybe you should think about who you're actually like gearing this towards, whatever project you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody ain't the same. Every family ain't the same, That Ozzy and Harriet stuff is, I mean, for me, that's all a fairy tale. Like most of my folks grew up in very, we'll say, colorful family situations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. That's not my family. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Can you repeat it again, Deborah?
your thoughts on just the thought that animation is just for kids.
So I don't agree with it.
Right.
My commentary, or some of my not more recent, but a recurring feeling, is that sentiment of constantly reinforcing animation is just for kids. It's causing like a real, I don't even know how to conjugate this, but maybe polarizing. It's kind of polarizing the animation content that's coming out, because it's like we have a bunch of stuff for kids and like pre-K and I guess up to 10 years old. And then the counter to that is like a whole bunch of, or well, not a whole bunch, but more adult cartoons.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly talking, or missing, I should say, the teen animation space. Like I think of Batman Beyond and like X-Men Evolution and Static Shock. And I think because we're constantly saying it's just for kids and people want to prove that by making adult stuff, we're missing that sweet, for me, spot in the middle.
Yeah.
So that statement, I feel like it just sucks.
Middle child syndrome.
Well, I almost feel like we're also missing that Nickelodeon era that we grew up with too, where it was very much it was a blend. It was a blend of kids and
like going back to watch Rocko's Modern Life.
if you actually watch Rocko's Modern Life as an adult, right? And with me like being involved in writing and comedy and stuff like that too, you're watching Rocko's Modern Life and you're like, this is comedic genius. Like the jokes are all quick, but there's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like as a kid, you're watching and it's funny because the characters look funny and they make funny facial expressions and stuff. But when you actually sit down and you listen to the jokes, and then going back to Toy Story, when you actually sit down and you watch Toy Story as an adult, you're like, yo, these jokes are insane. You know what I mean? Like as a kid, you didn't pick up on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with Monique that I think there is and again, I think entertainment in this country, in America specifically, has become very binary in a sense where they're so, and again, it goes back to what is their view of woke, right? So they really are just taking things and they're splitting it apart because they're more afraid of offending people. So they're just safe in everything. So they split everything far apart. So either you get the extreme of both sides, right? So to answer your question, I don't believe that animation is strictly for kids. I think animation is for everybody, and that's because I think we've all grown up in an era where it has been for everybody. I mean, Dre, he started out with Looney Tunes and Woody Woodpecker, and the rest of us, Dre,
pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much. But what's great?
Like, where's this going?
Like, yeah, he started off with Looney Tunes.
I feel like
back in my day.
Drake, he's calling you old.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I mean, but when you look at me, I mean, Jesus Christ,
He's
I'm
like,
all right.
He looks good.
I look incredible.
He looks amazing. Cocoa butter and sun. That's all.
Yeah. And believe me, the performance is just as useful as the face. You dig what I'm saying? So, but I will say this though. I think back then, just making films, whether it's animation or just films anyway, I think it was more about just people would say, I got a good story.
Yeah.
And that's it. They wouldn't talk about anything else, right? Oh, this is good. Let's make it. Blah, blah, blah. Now they say, we need something for the 4-quadrant process. We need to make sure they have these check boxes before they even start writing. And it's like, you're just killing all the creativity of these writers. Because now the writers just feel like they're being stuck in boxes. And that's not going to it's not going to foster creativity, right? It's like, oh, can we get another Rocko's Modern Life? No. Rocko's Modern Life is Rocko's Modern Life. Just let us create and you'll see what comes out. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember growing up, I didn't just watch. Like I was watching the fucking the cussing. I was watching the like Bow. I was watching Bow and Bubblegum Wars, just like I was watching like Looney Tunes and whatnot. I had a wide array of stuff I watched in animation. Now, you even looking at anime versus say something that's made in like the US that's not necessarily anime, they're kind of the same now. it's all kind of going down this one vein, right, of what entertainment's supposed to be. But I was watching so many different types of like animations and cartoons and stuff that now you just don't have that. It's not there anymore. That kind of variety's not there. It's just not. It's not there.
And to the 4-quadrant thing, it's like if you ever go into pitching, when you're pitching to executives and stuff, it gets to a point where you can basically pinpoint how the meeting's going to go.
Yeah.
You walk in and when you see certain faces or when you see certain people and stuff, you're like, okay, I know what this is about.
Mm-hmm.
This pitch meeting isn't about the story at all. They're just trying to figure out what can they use to fill out to check a box or like something like that, right? So sometimes it gets to a point where you're like, well, I'm just going to talk because you know what I mean. Versus what you're saying, Jay. Before it was just like I got this idea for a show called Hogan's Heroes, and then that's it. And then it happened, you know. Yeah. But now people are very much on the what can we do with this other than tell a great story, and I think that's.
And they forget that is how you make something viable, right? And you can monetize it. It's great. Yeah. And they totally have flipped it around, and it's just it's horrible. That's why with the short I'm working on is, you know, talking about like getting funding and stuff like that. Like if somebody's gonna come in, you know, drop the bag and leave. We don't need to talk because first off, you ain't from this world, and if you want to have a conversation, we're gonna go over here in like East Oakland. We'll have a conversation over there. Then we'll see how comfortable you are just giving your opinions. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna talk about the culture like that, you dig what I'm saying? And if you can't do that, then we don't need to have a discussion. Just let me do what I do, because what I do, you can't do. You know what I'm saying? And if you try to do it, you can't do it exactly like me. So just trust the process.
Yeah.
Dre, I'm sure there's a nice coffee shop somewhere in East Oakland. Stop.
No, there is. There's a whole bunch of nice stuff.
It being nice is not what's gonna make them comfortable.
Right. It's the preconceived notions they have.
Right.
That they think
we got nice stuff. Even like with black movies, they were like, oh, all black people are in it. Then it's a black movie. It's not just a movie with black people.
Exactly. It's just it's like you see anything like say a law firm, all white law firm. It's just a law firm.
Right.
But then if you have a law firm that's just all black folks, it's a black law firm. Why? It's just a law firm that's got a lot more soul.
Do y'all remember when we had romantic comedies that had black people in them?
Sorry.
I
love romantic comedies.
Boomerang.
Yeah, I mean, we had Boomerang. We had Love Jones, even though that's more of a genre. We had Love Jones. We had Night Professor was kind of a romantic comedy. Love and Basketball.
Love and Basketball. Classic. Yeah.
You Got Served. Drumline, you know.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Like, you got served.
There was romance in those movies.
Yeah.
We'll go with it. I guess.
There was some kissing. Actually, I blanked and I tried to.
Okay. Can I just bring it back to your animation for kids? Because I was doing what I think as you were talking. I remember my mom telling me before she came over to America that she was working in a hospital in Venezuela, and she was like the same way basically that we were like in school talking about Pokemon first thing in the morning. The doctors and the nurses would talk about like the Pink Panther in first thing in the morning in the hospitals. So it's kind of sad, unfortunate, and like insulting that animation was created and consumed by adults and has been reduced to like, oh, it's for kids. And by it being for kids, they take away a lot of like, I'm thinking of just like intelligence, like they dumb down the media because it's for kids and like saying like kids can't understand and comprehend that. But then also we were the adults that were once kids watching all that stuff, you know, and we were able to grasp and digest what we could from it. And like, we didn't turn out super horrible because we were watching these things. Like, why, if it's for kids, it has to be so like dumb and like again, like insulting, than just the intelligence of the viewers. And I think that's really annoying.
No angry eyebrows.
I have a question, Deborah, if I may ask. Do you think,
are you going to change the subject or
no?
Okay.
To your point, do you think that has more to do with the industry itself, or do you think that has more to do with the new writers that are coming out of these like incubators and stuff, or both?
My theory is the rise of mommy blogs is
I
the
was about to say the
downfall
parents. It's the parents. It's not
of
even the writers.
animation or
Right.
kids
Mommy
content.
blogs.
Yes.
Because y'all familiar with that Cooking Monster had to eat vegetables for like 3 years, right?
What?
Oh yeah, because
What?
they're like obesity in children.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't eat cookies for like 3-4 years.
No, I didn't hear about this.
Mhm.
And I'm glad I didn't.
He was eating
I'm
carrots.
glad I missed that.
I mean, he did the Cookie Monster did the health rap once in the 80s, and then that was it. That was all you needed.
Him not being Cookie Monster technically was because of mom's groups.
Yeah.
So.
Huh.
Yeah, so I think the rise of mommy bloggers just really forcing studios to like be hypersensitive to children's content as a big involvement or reason as to why stuff has gone so bland as it is now. Like if you think of like shows like All That, like the musical acts that was on All That is kind of ridiculous when you think about it, like, you know, but like that was something that had Rocko's Modern Life, you know, there was Ren and Stimpy and these shows that touched on like even like Doug had like some serious moments in it, and the mommy bloggers were like they're exposing kids to too much, so you know they have to make sure like they're not offending.
The cartoons have to raise the child, not the parents. So you have to like because they don't want to raise their own children, then the cartoons have to cater to everything, and the parent can't just be like, oh, this is wrong, or this is that. You can't just watch something and be like, let me parent my child and tell them what my views are according to this piece of content. No, the content has to do it for me. So
and like all the content,
yeah,
like, you know, it's not even like that's deliberately educational, it's like in everything now.
That's why Sukiyana and Sexy Red have to be role models. And, you know, it used to be Rihanna and it used to be Cardi B. Like, none of these people signed up to be role models. Like, parent your child.
Good. It's funny because growing up, I was watching everything, and my mom, I love horror, right? So, my mom like, boy, you can watch this shit. You know it's fake. You know, she would always say, "Boy, let me tell you something." That's how she talk. That's how she start. She's from the South. Boy, let me tell you something. And she'd tell me about how she grew up. Yeah. That's horror. She's like, that's real. Like what you watching is fake, so you can go ahead and watch it because you know it's fake. It's fine.
That's what I say about Get Out. Like, you know, white people watch that and like, oh, that's a good story, and black people was like, but that could really happen. Like that is horror. Like
that's legit horror right there.
No, black people are like, but that's actually who you are right now at this point. Like you're doing it right now as we're walking out the movie theater.
Real talk.
But to your point, I think it's also it's falls on the parents with children not being able to like separate fantasy from reality too, because again, parents don't really have a lot of time. They're not like when I was a kid, I used to go on trips and stuff. Like we went on a trip at least once or twice a year, like a little road trip or something, right? And so but I still loved movies, right? So I had my imagination, but I also touched grass. You know what I mean? So I can separate the two, and I can be like, all right, I'm in the movie world right now for like an hour.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna go outside.
There's not enough touching grass. Yeah,
I'm going to go outside and ride my bike, and now I'm in that world. And then sometimes maybe I'll act like I'm getting chased by a T-Rex or something on my bike in my mind, right? But you can still separate the two. So when parents aren't actually there to guide their children, in a developmental stage, it really starts to blur. And I think that's the reason why they're scared of entertainment and what their children are watching, because they're not actually helping their children distinguish the two.
Yeah.
That's
so
real.
I would like to add in my theory on the popularity of anime for the Just for Kids thing. So like because, you know, particularly back in the day, obviously there was some stuff that was kind of for adults, but like because there was a target audience of, you know, the 6 to maybe ending at 11, then the teenagers had nothing to go to. So I feel like that's why anime got so popular, because it filled in that teen interest gap. And so I feel like if you don't really think about it, you think, oh, all these people being interested in anime is random, but it's really not random. It's just like they had nothing to graduate to in America, so they had to go to Japan to fulfill their interests.
That's just true, because they had the complex stories, you know, things that go, the storylines that went on for the whole series, and then all the sub storylines and stuff like that, and different types of characters for people to relate to. Like, I've heard enough peers and friends say that same thing, that they were just kind of like forgotten.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, Monique.
No, that's it. I'm done.
That's well. You even think about something like a studio. I keep pronouncing their name wrong. Studio Ghibli. Is it Ghibli or
Ghibli?
Ghibli. Yeah. When you even look at Studio Ghibli's work, right? I think that's kind of a good amalgamation of like what you're talking about when it's like you have kid stuff, but then you have like the anime that kind of is like that middle ground, because a lot of their movies are kind of both. You know what I mean? They have movies with like fantasy creatures and stuff like that. So they are geared towards kids, but then the movie also takes place during World War II, during the Tokyo fire bombings. You know what I mean? So but then again, that's a cultural thing too, because like when it comes to like Japanese culture, that's Japanese culture. So it's like the kids can know about the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and the Tokyo fire bombs and all that stuff and everything, but it's still like a kid's movie. So it still kind of toes that line where it's a movie that kids can watch, but also it has nuances in it for the parents and the adults to enjoy too. So what happens is the movies become timeless versus having a time stamp on them of how far you can, you know, how when you hit a certain age, you can't really relate to it anymore.
I think it's about depth too, right? I think because we have our history here. Let's be clear, the history in the U.S. is very, like, it's just marred with a whole bunch of different, you know, triumphs and tragedies and all this. And we could easily put that in our stories too. But I think, you know, we have that whole American exceptionalism thing, you know, and we do know media is powerful, right? Media definitely can shape the mind. You can be an adult and they can still shape your mind and have influence on you. And one thing about America is we, you know, not us, we cool with dealing with the reality of how it is. But, you know, the people that are running things, they definitely want to have a specific narrative that's being told, like, you know, America is still the shiny city on the hill, right? When
I feel like America is like the streaming companies now, like, don't want to show the numbers. Like, America is like always saying that they're great, but it actually not proving that they're great. At least back in the day, we actually went to the moon to be like, yeah, we're actually great in some way.
Exactly.
But now it's just like a facade.
All of it is, and I think we show that in our media as well. Like, you know, in the projects that we make, some people, like, when you think about like they clone Tyrone, you know what I'm saying? Not an animation, but when you look at that, or if you want to go to animation, go to Love, Death, and Robots. You know what I mean? Watch some of those stories. They're talking about things that are in society that we're struggling with right now, and that we should be having serious conversations about.
Yeah.
But, you know, when it comes to the major tent poles, they're not willing to go that far. I always say they flirt with the message, they don't get in bed with it.
I feel like Jerry's comment is like the importance of having veterans still in play, because there's like that context. Like, for example, when we talk about the 3 strikes and all that stuff, there's like, not, if you talk to older people, there's the context of like Black people asking politicians to do stuff. So like we all like blame the Clintons or something like that, but it's like, well, they were kind of pressured as well. So like Jerry said, let's not underestimate the ramifications of corporations being sued by the general public for influencing their child's bad behavior or criminal behavior by their content. So like for those of us who possibly were not alive or cognizant, it's possibly a reaction.
I'll say that could be valid, but when you look at corporations, when they want to make more money, they don't care how you feel. You can sue them as much as you want; they'll still do whatever they got to do to make their money. So it's like, so when they say, "Oh, we're afraid of this, that, and the third," it's like, but when you want to clear that bonus, you're not afraid of repercussions from the public. So,
but again, I think that goes back to the co-op thing, because at the end of the day, it's still all about money. It's what's popular at the time, and that's why you don't really get like the real story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though what's crazy about it is that, like, if you actually like went in,
you would make crazy bread.
It would be crazy
for days, and that's why I think it's not money. What I think is they don't want to seize power.
Well, and it's that, and also it's the mummy blogs too, because
I'm new to this. I didn't know the mommy blogs had that much weight. I didn't know they was holding it like that.
Clank, clank.
They banged out here. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I remember back in the day, mommies against drunk driving. I remember that mad.
Yep.
I remember that. That's back in my era. You know what I'm saying? Even though I still got a hairline. You know what I'm saying? That was back in my era. But yeah, I remember that. But that was like, they were trying to, bring down the fatalities that was happening from drunk driving. Well, that's cool. But now you're saying they out here banging on folks, huh?
Yes, on the blogs.
Banging on bacon?
You banging on why? Why are you bacon's delicious. Had me a BLT last night, but avocado. Yeah.
I'll just read this to Keenan's point. That's why a lot of urban stories can't be told due to the smudge it puts on America's view of itself.
Boom.
Well, and to respond to that, like I made this post on Facebook because I've been on this whole Black stand-up comedians. This is in the same line, so I'm not going off on the tangent. But I've been on a Black stand-up comedian tangent over the last few months of how it seems like the white stand-up comedians that start doing comedy within the last 5 years are now doing theaters, and there's no real Black stand-up comedians actually making that crossover appeal. And I feel like it's because the co-opt wokeness, it really stifles our freedom of speech in the sense of what we want to speak on. And what they try to do is they try to say, oh, we don't want you to talk about this group and that group and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, you actually don't want us to say how we really feel.
Yeah.
And what happens a lot of times is when you're on stage and there's certain people in the crowd and you say, y'all treat Black people like this and this, that's basically what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
They're offended by the joke, but they try to have it inside of this offensive punching down thing when you're like, yo, I'm just talking about racism. And
but that's the thing of like people are more like if you call somebody a racist, they're more offended that you call them the word than their behavior that made you call them the words.
Exactly. So a lot of these, and then when you're a stand-up comic and you try to do stuff like on the Jimmy Fallon show or something like that, and you submit the tape, they'll be like, oh, well, we can't have you on the show saying this stuff, right? So then it goes back to the animation or to the project where it gets up to that level. And then they go, no, we can't. We can't say this. I mean, it's true, and we agree with you, but I agree and I support you and all that stuff, but I can't like say it in public. That's really like, so that's why.
Oh yeah, I feel like it's also a numbers thing because, like, for example, when you can, numerically say that that Eminem is like the best selling rapper, is because 70% of the country is white. And if 90% of white people who like rap, Eminem is their favorite rapper. Like, and so if you have the people who are actually buying the music, buying his stuff, then of course he's going to be the most selling rapper because Black people ain't actually buying stuff. Like they're like white people are buying the white and the Black rapper stuff, but then the Black people who support Black rappers, we have a myriad of people to choose from. So it's not like all of our support is concentrated on one person because we're like just picking our favorite Black rapper who is not everybody. So,
and I think there's actually a large swath of white folks that consume rap that only will consume it from white rappers, right? Mm-hmm. And then us, if we hear a song that's hot, we listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're the ones with integrity. So I mean, that's what it's got to come down to. One of my partners in New York that I work with, rapper out there, his name's BTB, white dude, but got bars for days. Mm-hmm. And I've seen in his comments, white dudes that say, I don't listen to rap, but I definitely support what you're doing. And it's like that's why y'all it's like that's why y'all ain't really having. They'll be like, as a white rapper, I'm dealing with this and that. I'm like, you're not really dealing with anything, because there's people out here that will buy your stuff and not even look at somebody like a Rakim or a Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's clearly that better than you are. You know what I'm saying? To put together classics. But yeah, I think and that goes back to like what we're talking about in animation when they say, oh, this is for kids and this is not. Who's having these conversations, and who are the people that can make the decisions?
It's really tribalism,
right? And to me, here's the thing: I'm fine with tribalism. Like, everybody's not gonna like me, and if they did, that means I'm the Antichrist. I don't want to be that. So I know everybody's not gonna like me, and I know I'm an acquired taste, right? And I don't lose sleep over the people that don't like me. I'm fine with tribalism. The thing is, do we all have equal rights to follow our dreams and to make what we want to make and how we want to make it? That's the issue. I'm not worried about, like, you don't have to like my opinions on what's appropriate for children. You don't have to like that. But I do want the same resources that you have.
Well, it's skewed tribalism.
Yeah, and that's the problem, right? That's what I don't like.
And that's why we talk about nepotism all the time when it comes to like working on project and animation and stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hire Deborah. Well, what skills does Deborah have? Deborah has a bunch of skills. I'm using it as an example. But they go, what skills does Deborah have? Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
this is what you guys do.
Right. We can stop right. Don't worry about it. Mind your business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mind your business. You know what I'm saying? Come over here and do some work, or go over there. But we don't need your commentary. Your commentary is not important over here. I be telling, like, white folks that want to be allies. I'm like, listen, you want to be an ally. For me, you have to be willing to be a tool that I can wield at my leisure.
Right.
To me, that's an ally. Anything else, I'm not looking for cheerleaders. I'm not looking for hashtags, right? I'm not looking for you going online and talking about how sad you are. If you ain't willing to come in here and I can wield you like a damn sword against these enemies, you ain't no ally. I can't. And to be fair, I got white folks showing up ready to go. There are some white folks, a few. Not a lot. I ain't gonna get that to y'all, white folks, white community. Only a few of y'all showing up, like very few. And but they showed up ready to get busy.
Since we're talking about white people, I want to bring up a topic that I saw on TikTok. Of this dude was like, which I've seen this sentiment before, where they're like, what happened to the white lingo? Like, he called it WAVE, White American Vernacular English.
Whoa.
Like, tubular, dude. And then there's another dude who was just like, what happened to the white music, like the white rock? Like, he was like, white people, please stop rapping. We need our Evanescence. We need our Panic at the Discos. Like, y'all, like, get into y'all bag and be white again. Like, make white people white again.
I ain't gonna lie, Evanescence and Dido was the business back in the day.
Yeah.
Dido.
Like, y'all Haley bag. Like, come on.
I know about Evanescence. I don't know about Dino. I don't know what
Dido. You remember that song that Eminem did called "Stan"?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the person singing.
So Dido did a song called "Thank You."
Yes.
And he used that as the hook, or he used that as the hook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, Fall Out Boy, Avril Lavigne.
That's how white Eminem is.
Like, I feel like in this woke era, like hey Trevor, in this like woke era,
I can't hear y'all. Oh snap! Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
I can.
Can you hear us?
I hear y'all now. How y'all doing?
He came in hot.
What I do?
But I feel like this woke era, like if you take like marketing for all companies, but like if we take animation game companies, now they got to put every person of color, and then they don't even include the white people in the we're only diverse. We don't have we're not going to include like two of the 70% of white people that are working at this company. We're just going to put the Asian person, the black person, the LGBTQ person, the non-binary person, and it's just like we didn't mean for y'all to leave out the white people. We just wanted to be included. We didn't want y'all to shun yourselves.
But you know that kind of goes to their deficiency, right? they have to exclude somebody, right? They have to make somebody feel like they don't belong. I think it's just written into the sauce, or it's part of the sauce. You know what I mean? They're trying, but they can't get that dance right. They're trying though. You know what I'm saying? Now for us, do we wait for them to get the dance right, or do we just go and have another club and we start doing our thing? You know, not saying that white folks can't come over, but the ones that already know how to do the Running Man properly, y'all come with us. We gonna let them struggle. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, keep doing your thing, right? Do the half Running Man. We'll go over here and just start something new. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like we got to see Dre do the Running Man now. So next link up, I don't know what the function will be, but
I'll hit the Running Man, stinky leg. You know what I'm saying? Sea walk.
Can't wait. We need
this. For the folks that don't know, there's other dances out here in the Barry. You know what I'm saying? Called like the suicide. There's like, I get busy.
Yes, I love the local dance moves.
Yeah, I'm light on my feet. Like I said the endurance is just as useful as the face.
You got the left and the right foot.
Okay, so when you hit 5,000 subscribers, Deborah, we're having a dance battle on live stream.
Oh, don't listen.
He's like,
don't play with me. Don't play with me, lady. Don't have me back in this chair right now.
Yeah, let's all bring our regional dance moves. I love this. Right?
Let's go.
I'll work on my Harlem Shake for y'all.
I was looking up Detroit dances yesterday. There's one called the Earl Flynn, which is a bit before my time. So I was just like, what is this?
I love that.
But apparently, like,
they got it. But real quick, but to your point, Dre, it really feels like it's more when it comes to bringing other people into our process. It feels like there's a lot of talk. It seems like it's more talk than there's actual action. Because I have a few white friends who always want to talk about politics, always want to talk about what's wrong.
God.
They always want to talk about, and what's funny is that they want to jump on the Keenan train because they've gotten a hold of my scripts, they've seen what I've done and all that stuff.
Talk that talk.
But they want to get on board, but they don't know how to actually sit down
and shut up.
You know what I mean? So it's a whole lot of coming in and being like, well, you need to do this and do that, and it's like, bro, grab a pen and some paper and put your head down and go to work. Right.
See, this is why I say we can have the conversation, but we're gonna go over to East Oakland and have it. I want to see your behavior under duress.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see how you gonna act when you feel that heat. Now I know who you really are.
People have to realize that in a movement, there needs to be movement.
That's a shirt.
Like shirts all day, baby.
That's a shirt.
Get to Yahoo.com. Get the merch up. But you understand what I'm saying? It's like you can't. It's a locomotion. Like you can't. And it's
can't be potential energy. You got to be kinetic energy.
But the thing about it too is I think that's inherently a part of. Culturally, I think it's whiteness. Culturally, it's a lot of talking. And
that's why I say I don't like using the term racism. I like talking about the centralization of whiteness. That's really the issue. It's not because everybody can feel biased about many different things, right? Mm-hmm. But again, it goes back to who has their hand on the switch, who can turn things on and off. Like you can stay wanting to be in just an all white neighborhood. I'm cool with that. As long as we have the same resources and the same rights, you can stay over there. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to kick it with my folks regardless. Let's make sure the rights and the resources are equal.
That's what integration was about, the resources.
Exactly. Like I'm not worried about being at, it's like, oh, Dre, you coming out to the party? No, I don't actually want to party with y'all unless y'all got some swag. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to party how you want to. You should be able to do that. But I should be able to party how I want to too.
And also
without being bothered and the police called on us.
Period.
Keep your opinion over there too. Like
it's like we need to teach. We need to have like appreciation classes. Like they don't know how to, because I feel like America. The point was to strip everybody's culture, not just like Black and people of color's culture, but like white people's culture too. So they rely on the whiteness, and so because they don't have their Englishness or Germanness or whatever, then they have to latch on to other people's culture. And so there's not that just like look at it in a box and appreciate it. It has to be like taken out the box and then remove the value because you touched it. Like keep it in the plastic.
Real talk.
But with that, I think our culture has been the culture that everyone is trying to emulate. I was at Universal the other day, and I saw a teenage white girl in biker shorts and a black shirt, and she had the word "hood rich" across the front and across one of the legs on the shirt, right? And I passed her, and I saw it in my peripheral, and I turned and looked. Like I turned and looked at her, and she looked back at me because she knew. Like she knew what I saw.
A whole conversation happened.
We had a conversation visually. You understand what I'm saying? And because she was getting a picture taken of her, and she's like, "Yeah, I should have probably left this at home." like she.
But if she felt good in that shirt, let her. Like I just feel like everybody should play their position. Like if this is who you are, this is who you are. If you just are a fan of the culture, be a fan of the culture, but just know you're a fan. Know the difference between being a fan and being an artist. Know the difference between knowing you woke and knowing I'm just waking up. Like it's fine. It's fine.
Just waking up.
It's fine that you grew up over there. It's fine that I grew up over here. It's fine that we make it's okay for you to be you. Like I remember I seen a YouTuber say one time, like white people, it's okay to be white. Totally. Like you know, it's not anti-whiteness. Totally be white. Just don't be conveniently woke. And I think there's too much conveniently woke people. Like everybody is woke when it's a trending topic. I think that's just everybody. That's not even white. Like all of us. Like I feel like everything is a hashtag today. Like what's trending? Let me trend.
Like after George Floyd, you'll have Black Lives Matter in your Twitter bio, but be arguing with Black people about making Black characters and how to make Black characters. Like that's not what. Like, yeah, so you just got Black Lives Matter hashtag. Like what? Why is it there? If you gonna argue with me,
it's just like it's convenient. Like okay, it's Black Lives Matter until a Black life is inconvenient to you. Like well, you know, what about when like all right, so you can't say Black Lives Matter, but then what about me? Like which is it? Are you down for progression or not? Are you only down for progression until it's a competition with you? And I think we're just, you know, I can talk forever, you know.
And I think this is why we need to start adjusting where we put our energy, right? That's why working on my short, like I have conversations with our producer, you know, all the time about what this is. And I said, here's the difference. Since this short has started, people are coming in. I'm the director, whatever you want to call it, leader, whatever. I said it behooves me to make an environment that doesn't exist out there for us, because I can now, right? Now we gonna see. It's like what is Dre about? If I don't make it safe over here, and I actually have the power to do that, now you see. And that's why I said it's all about when a person's under duress, you'll see what they're about. And that's why I say drag them in the deep end immediately, just get it over with. Be like, you know what? Like Trevor was saying, it's like, okay, you cool with it when it's convenient. Now I know you over here. I'm gonna place you over here. You ain't for the smoke. So you're over here. You drag somebody else into the deep end. Oh, you with it? Okay, cool. You over here. And no hate. No, I don't hate you. Let's just put people in their proper place. And leave it at that, and then just keep moving forward. We'll circle back.
I worked in Black and brown spaces where I felt the same as in the white space. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
It's supposed to be different over here.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
We're using the master tools. All right.
Yep.
100%. But when we do that Instagram story and we're all doing the mollywop or whatever the dance is, you know, every time
you sound old. Yeah, you sound older than Andre. Don't be calling out Andre for being old and call something a mollywop.
Listen here, young lady.
You doing better than me. I don't know no dance moves. I'm like, what you saying?
Let me Google some black dances real quick. But it's always the Instagram video. So it's like, oh, we all black, and then everyone's like doing this together and stuff. But the question is, because you and I talk about this a lot too, especially when you're in this industry where it's like, how much influence? What's the best way to say this? How much are we influenced by the bad shit?
Right.
And then we think that's how it needs to be done. When in reality, when you take a step back and you say, "You're like, wait, this doesn't have to be this way," because it's about this industry is all about power, right?
And that's every industry, right?
And you kind of loop it back to what you were saying, Dre, is you find out how woke people are when a black or brown person's in charge, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because a lot of times, and this has happened with me, a lot of times a non-black person who doesn't have the experience that I have will come into a space and I'm like, we're going to do it this way. Or I'm going to give this person a chance or whatever. Then it turns into one of those we're all Americans type conversations, or get the best person for the job or whatever. And it's like, thank you for your opinion, but can you go get my coffee? Because that's like your job. You know, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's really
and
when
and the automatic assumption that they're not the best person for the job is my issue.
And like,
yeah,
and I think a lot of people just won't step out on that, like draw the line in the sand, right? So, for instance, one of my homeboys, he's gonna be working on the short in the editing and stuff, right? And he's from LA, particular hood. We ain't gonna talk about all that. I ain't gonna put his business out there, but I said, I was telling like the producer, I said, check this out. Because of like all his tats, the cornrows, how he acts, you know what I'm saying? He's already behind the 8 ball out there.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't going to be behind the 8 ball out here. Mm-hmm. And I said, if anybody got a problem with that, they got a problem with me. You gonna have to get through me to get to him. That's when we'll start to see change, when we do that kind of shit. Until we do that, everything else is just talking. It's like you want to get to him, you got to go through me. Because I know his quality. I know the person. If you're not going to take time to meet the person, you're going to look at the cornrows and tattoos and just automatically put them in the category of this. We ain't going to talk about. Period.
I was 36 years old, which is my current age. The first time I had a manager like who I felt came to bat for me. It was just like, why did it take this long for me to experience? Like you hear people talk about on social media and in conversations of like having good managers. It really hasn't been my life. And so like to work on a production and like when you're not in the room, I'm gonna stick up for this person because they're doing their work, they're doing their job. Don't mess with them, let them rock. And it's just like, why did it take 36 years?
Well, and also too, I think the assumption that diversity means they're not as good. There's a lot of people that innately believe that.
That was put out there, right? That was
put out there. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that we're just hiring people because they look like us or whatever. I mean, we're hiring people.
I am. I'm saying that 100%. I'm hiring folks that I know. Sorry, but I am. Fuck that.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
Period. Like
Let me finish. I want you to make me look like a conservative on this fucking.
There has to be one in the group, Keenan.
I mean, excuse me. I want you to make me look bad out here.
Let me finish my sentence. For that soundbite, the soundbite.
We're not just like we are hiring people that look like us, yes, but people assume the worst version of that, right? What I'm 100%. Saying is there's a lot of us out here that look like us that have skills that don't get the opportunities because of what they look like. Let's just be real, right?
100%.
So if it wasn't for people like Dre, who, you know, they wouldn't even get the shot. You know what I mean? So I mean,
I think because people only see potential in people that look like them.
Yeah,
but I think also I'll add this into the equation, right? It's like, this person, like let's take somebody that's like the skills aren't up to par to be, at a company or whatever you want to call it, right? Okay, how was their schooling as soon as they got into kindergarten? Was the teachers paying attention to them, giving them the time and the necessary instruction, or were they just put over in the corner because they were a nuisance or whatever, right? Well, so it's like, how does that person not, if that person's not up to par, could it be that they're just not good, or could it be that they didn't get the attention that their white counterparts got?
But that's my point though, because there's a lot of people like that are self-taught.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying there's people out there with or without skills that are just being boxed out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I want to go on. I go more on character. I'm trying to find people like, just put it plainly, I'm trying to find people that are tough. You know what I mean? Because it's like anybody can learn. Let's be clear. Like if you put your time into learning a skill, you'll learn it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's who we are as human beings, right? We get better at skill, but character is hard to develop. That's tough. Trying to find somebody that's strong that can withstand the heat that's out there. That's hard to find. I want that. And if I can get that, I want you over here.
In the pandemic, I we a lot of us were watching all these like Zooms and lives of like in the animation community and the whatever community, and I feel like my biggest takeaway from watching all of these lives was that like pretty much people just got the opportunity, but they didn't always have like the skill. Like, okay, if you watch I always have a different takeaway from stuff. Like when you watch the ILM documentary that's on Disney Plus, it was like a bunch of talented people, but they weren't necessarily qualified. And I feel like when you introduce like diversity conversation in social media or in real life, people are like, oh, the most qualified. And it's like somebody could be talented, but not be qualified for the position, but still do it. Like if you watch them making the first Star Wars movie, they had skill sets, but they still didn't know what they were doing, and they figured it out, and they had the privilege to figure it out. But when you have diversity, we have to be perfect already. I mean, even if you think of a Nike starting and not being profitable until the third year or something like that. If you're a Black business and you get money, you have to be profitable in the first 6 months, which is not like why?
Well, I mean, and that's why these diversity programs are scams, because they don't really want diversity. For example, you go work at Disney, they're like, oh, we have Black people that work here, but they start off as janitors. Versus Jennifer, she's the number 2 to Bob Iger. Or she's the executive assistant. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's her first job in the business, but she's standing next to the person who's in charge, right? So, and this is going on off of personal experience. I'm always being told that I have to pay my dues.
Yes.
I got a short film in Oscar qualifying Holly shorts, and I'm still being like, well, you got to pay your dues in this business. It's like I just had a film in a. Like what? Like pay my dues? I paid for the film. What are you talking about? Right? So it really.
I literally paid.
Right. I paid the bills, not the dues.
It really feels. And another thing too is the writer on the short is white, right? So I was at a film festival in Newark showing the same short, and everyone, and it was the Newark Film Festival, but it's basically a Black film festival. And everyone assumed that he was the investor. This man has no money.
That's a scene out of a comedy movie right there.
But you understand what I'm saying, right? When even when it comes to us, sometimes we're in the mindset of, oh no, we always have to be working. We always have to be proving ourselves. We always have to run up the ladder.
100%, and that's what I mean by character, right? If I see people talking like that, I'm like, yeah, you're not going to be able to help me move forward, right? We have to recalibrate your whole thinking. That takes a lot of time. You go over there. You know what I'm saying? I want to get the cats that are just ready for the smoke, and that already that don't have to fight with that way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Even though we all understand we got it, we were trained this way, right? We were socially engineered this way over centuries. But you got people out here already facing that and overcoming it, right? We're past that. Some of us are past that. We're the ones that need to get together and start working together.
I mean, just making moves. It's interesting, like and I've been listening to from the beginning, so it's like I'm gonna try to lump in a lot of my thoughts I've had. But I just love what you said about character. Like that's why character being first is dope. And at the same time, it's like what you see going on is like representation being the biggest thing, and it's like I said, it seems like it's a hashtag more than anything else. And like representation is dope, but I'm gonna be honest, I did not give a damn about the new Little Mermaid coming out. I did not care. Didn't care. Like, cool, she black, okay, but like all I care about is dope art.
What would have made you cared? Just out of curiosity. What would have made you care, or you wouldn't have cared regardless about it?
Dope. If I'd seen any good live animation out of them, period. I don't think you making them. I don't like reboots too much.
That's what I was trying to get at. I was like, you probably wouldn't have liked it.
Like
anyway.
regardless, like, well, I mean, if they came at it different, if they gave me the Maleficent of Little Mermaid, all right, fine, give me something different. Don't just give me a rehashed version of the animation that ain't as good as the animation. Be innovative. Like I literally got the picture of Disney's 9 Old Men in front of me right now. Like, why? Because back in their time, even though all 9 of them are white, they were trying to innovate, bro. When they made their art, when they was like in that joint with Disney, coming up with ideas,
what was the character's name?
And so forth. Like,
no, the 9 Old Men, the
9
Disney animators.
9 Old Men. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my bad. Disney 9 Old Men. So,
I like the fact Trevor got an actual photo of the 9 Old Men. That's kind of dope. That's dope.
Oh wait.
He gonna come back and he gonna show us. That's dope that he got I've never seen a photo of all of them together. Of the 9 Old Men. That's kind of dope.
Did I tell you the story, Dre, of when I met the directors of The Princess and the Frog?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, this is what happened. I walked in, saw 2 white men talking, and then I turned around and walked out.
And it's funny because I can't get through that film. I can't. It's hard for me to watch Disney films anyway, though. It's tough, very tough.
Yeah, I mean they're converting Splash Mountain to Negro Mountain now. They're turning it into The Princess and the Frog.
No, I saw the little reveal of the inside, and everybody in the comments was like, "This is just an updated version of what was there before. Y'all didn't even change it." And that made me think of like Disney used to put money into stuff. Like, we about to do this, and then because I have never been to wherever this is, and so I wouldn't know the context. But everybody in the comments was like, "This looks exactly like it did before. It's just like got paint on it." And
all they're doing is swapping out the animatronics. That's all they're doing.
I mean, again, that's where we're at now, right?
But it's like Disney ain't even Disney no more.
It's called Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and everyone's mad. First of all, I have a thing with Disney fans.
It's called Tiana's what?
Bayou Adventure.
Okay.
When's Trevor coming back? I'm trying not to go.
So
well, he'll show us when we get back. But I do want to. Oh, there he is. I'm like,
I don't know what happened. My bad. I got excited trying to show y'all the picture of Disney 9 Old Men.
Yeah, I've never seen a picture of all the 9 Old Men together. That's dope.
Did y'all see it before the camera went out? Or
no, immediately.
Wow. Okay. I'm just gonna be corny and take it down. I'm afraid to take the camera off again.
Right.
No, I'm a nerd. Like, so yeah, I got him right here.
That's dope. Hey, bring that closer. That's dope.
Yeah, them all sitting right there, being in that hot ass room, trying to break down animations. Like, I mean,
the reason I'm laughing is because you were gonna turn your whole computer around.
Oh, that's a fact. I turned my whole camera around. That's why. Oh, Trevor, you had oh, my bad.
I have one of the 9 Old Men's proteges, Bill Frake, is helping me on my short.
Oh, that's fire.
We always talk. Me and him met at Blue Sky, and we always talk about just his experience of like doing animation and learning from the 9 Old Men and his life, and just the stories are crazy that he be telling, man. Yeah, and watching him draw is different.
Wow,
it's different. Yeah,
I bring them up because like innovation, right? Like, you know, and I get it. Representation is so dope. I ain't mad at that at all. Like, it does feel better when you like have people that look like you. Doing things, but I'm also asking myself at the end of the day, all right, is it dope though? Like, that's all I care about. I just want to see something that inspires me, something that like, I don't know. So I think you could,
and if it's coming from mainstream, it most likely won't inspire you.
Yeah.
Somebody can look like us and still be a Herschel Walker. Somebody can look like us and just be that they be a black person.
That's true. That's
and
true.
Don't have our best interest. So you like, okay, so what does it really mean? Like, at the end of the day, let's just all try to be fire. Like, how can we make the most dope fire art ever? Like, and so I don't know. I think
that's why we're gonna have to support Monique when her documentary short come out. We're gonna have to support Dre when his stuff come out. We're gonna have to support Chaz when his stuff come out. Sonic Boom.
Keenan with Shatami. Yeah, exactly. That's what it comes down to. Because I think really we're held to a different standard.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're held to a different standard. We get less resources, less time, and we have more micromanaging on us.
Yeah.
But then you're supposed to see us in all of our authenticity. Come on now. Let's have a real
because the people with the money have to understand it. Like, it's like, how is it diverse if you have to understand it? Like, if we throw the potato salad conversation in there, oh, what is that? And you have to, if they don't get it, then they want to take it out. And it's like, then how is it diverse?
Yeah, exactly. And and that's why I'm with Trevor, and the thing I focus on is character and power. Those are the only two things I'm focused on. Like, we can make whatever. It's gonna be good, right? We got right. We're the flavor to savor all day. We can accidentally make good shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just that we need the power, right? We need the right people in the room that aren't going to get, when the heat starts to come down, you know what I'm saying, that they can withstand it. It doesn't bother them. You know what I'm saying? Until we get that, you know.
So really quickly, I want to go to another topic, but I just want to preface this by the word rednecks is in it, and no disrespect to anybody who is a redneck, but any whatever the proper pre-roll thing is for this pretend I'm saying this. So another Reddit topic was WWE is just anime for rednecks.
I mean,
maybe.
Yeah,
I don't understand the correlation, but okay.
A lot of black people like W wrestling.
I know. I was going to give that aside too, but I
think I can't speak to this because I come from a small town and I'm definitely a hillbilly. So,
which I told you on TikTok, hillbilly is a totally different thing, and hillbilly got a bad rap because there was mixed with black. But
100%. But I'm definitely a hillbilly. I come from a place where they taught agriculture in high school. So
I'll read what they wrote. It says, I mean, if you look at it, WWE, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT are 3 weekly episodes that they make. Then they make like 10 anime movies a year. 10 anime movies every year: SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania, etc. All of the wrestlers have their signature and finishing moves, just like most of the shonen characters would. Instead of voice acting, though, is actual acting. Other than that, though, I'm pretty sure WWE is an anime that is running for like 50 years, the main producer being Vince McMahon, and the anime crew is instead the WWE crew instead of weebs. The main audience, of course, is kids and rednecks.
That's strong evidence.
And grandmas.
I think that's disrespectful to anime everywhere, right? I haven't seen the Cowboy Bebop of wrestling yet. I'm just saying, I ain't seen it. Now, if y'all have seen the Cowboy Bebop of wrestling, show me where it's at. You seen the Samurai Shampoo of wrestling? Show me where it's at. Show me. That's it. So I just think that's disrespectful. I think Miyazaki should put it in on whoever makes that comment.
I feel like. Because I was on, I don't know where I was recently, where I asked about like a Stone Cold Steve Austin documentary and The Rock. Like, them two, they characters for WWF/E. Them two.
I can see what Trevor's saying, and I can see why he would say, Miyazaki should definitely take a hit. But remember, they said it's anime for rednecks, right? So you got they're basically saying these cats won't watch anime, right? And this is their version of it, right? They want to watch it. They really want to watch it, right? But they're like, nah, I can't do that. I gotta hold on to my redneckness. And so redneckness. So therefore, it's like we're gonna do this right here. But
wrestling definitely is a culture. Like when we was kids, we was talking about it. I remember one. Who did they? Did the Undertaker bury somebody once? We're like, no, he killed him. He killed him. Like we really believe those things are wrestling.
He walked on the ropes. He balanced and walked on the ropes, right? And then came down with whatever his finishing move was. I'm like, they was doing some Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Come on now.
Yeah, listen, it's bigger than life.
He was getting like 20-something feet in the air.
Wrestling was like what football never was for me. Wrestling was that, but anime, boy. Don't compare it to anime.
What?
Yeah, they missing out. They missing out if if you try to compare like SummerSlam to like the Bubblegum Wars, they're missing out.
And then once you add
100%.
the animators to it, oh come on, the wrestling could never. They could never do what these men right here did.
You're about to bring up that picture a few more times.
I'll bring up the book. Y'all better quit playing with me, man. Hold on. Listen to 9 Y'all better stop playing with me.
Oh wait, wait a minute. I got it. Let me look that up. Wait a minute.
Hold on, let me. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's Andreas Deja. He was a supervisor animator of was it Jafar?
Ooh, I'm copping this. I'm copping this.
That's fine.
I can't really contribute because I never really watched anime a whole lot, and I didn't watch a lot of wrestling either. But being from the South, Black culture and redneck culture kind of blend. So that's why I'm saying Black people watch wrestling and anime. So
yeah.
So when you say like strictly like when you think about like Southern Black culture, there's not a correlation between the two cultures just because that's just the way it is, right? So
yeah,
I don't necessarily want to. I don't want to ever say that white people own wrestling. As apart from Vince McMahon.
You can't argue that one, right?
Yeah.
I just cracked up when I saw the topic. But since we just showing our like adult men swag,
Ain't playing.
You got the flip books of the work.
Oh, that's right.
That's nice.
Where'd you get what is that, Deborah? What's that product called? What is that? The 9 Men like flip book?
It's
collection?
called Walt Disney's 9 Men the flip books. And so
I might have to cop that too.
I'm copping that too.
Can you guys can we order them online? What's happening?
I already found the 9 Men, the one that Trevor held up. I found that on Amazon. That's on Amazon right now.
Yeah, that stuff is dope, and I can't draw a stick figure, but those things are fire, man. I'm inspired by animators. Where you go? I can't. Listen, I talk. That's what I do. I talk, man.
But you brought up some evidence that you really about this life, though. You got a picture of the 9 Men.
I respect animators a lot. I think, I just think that's a super fire. I'm inspired by all right, let me stop thinking. I'm just gonna show everything animated I have. But I think it's just fire. I don't know. If I had the focus of an animator, I feel like I'd be in a whole nother tier as an actor. So they inspire me to want to be a better actor. So that's why I rock with animators. That's what's up.
I heard that.
So since you're so passionate, Trevor, you can be the first person to answer this question.
What's up?
What animated movie would you confidently say is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece?
It seems like it's too easy to say. No, I'm instantly going. You remember? I don't know if you was in the room. I feel like that's when you got to know me on Clubhouse talking about. Yeah. I think Toy Story. I think Toy Story was such a beautiful accident. I don't know. I would give that a 10 out of 10 because just what it did, like the messaging, what it did for animation at the time. It seemed like with the actors they had in it. I wouldn't change anything about Toy Story, so that's why I would give it a 10 out of 10. That would be mine if I had to just say something off the top of the head.
Top of the dome. Anybody else got an answer?
Yeah.
Are we talking animation only? Oh, sorry, Monique. Go ahead.
I said Turning Red.
You said Turning Red. Okay.
10 out of 10 for me.
Are we talking animation only? Or are we talking?
Yeah. Animation.
Okay.
Why, Monique?
I because of my previous director, now understand that that's like a time period piece, and being an individual that was like a preteen at the same time that Turning Red takes place, I related a lot to it. Even though I am not Asian, American, Canadian, I do have an immigrant mother, was obsessed with boy bands at that time. I just think it was really perfect in how it captured that time period of a piece, being a fangirl, going through puberty, trying to navigate becoming an adult as you think of at that age, and your relationship with your mother and your parents, navigating whatever heritage, cultural things as well. So and then I just thought it was really fun. I think even though it's a Pixar and it's a major studio movie type of thing, it was a story that could like it was really successful because it was so niche. Like it's an Asian Canadian story. So even though I can relate to it for so many things, I think if it had been someone like me who's like West Indian American from New York, it would have been a completely different story. Where so many other animated feature films, big budget ones, they could be really interchangeable when we start talking about the characters or like locations. But I'm like, if anything was really different about Turning Red fundamentally, it just would have been a completely different story.
Just quick question. So the controversy, you thought that was overblown with that movie?
What controversy?
When, you hear about people flipping out because it's an allusion to a woman's period. You hear all that when people was mad about that.
I was happy that it was depicted, honestly, as someone
that's the mommy groups and
but she was like 12, 13 having her period in the movie, and they didn't want that to be talked about because it's a kids movie. But in all actuality, it's kids that have their periods. You're in 4th.
They're getting younger and younger.
Yeah, 7th grade, whatever. And you have your period. So it was actually very like validating to see it on TV. And I was like, I wish I saw that when I had my period back in like 5th grade, because I'd have been like, yes, I feel like relatable. Like, I don't feel like this is just happening to me. It's happening to
it's
what
not
everybody.
Taboo, right? It's not taboo.
I feel like as a woman, it just comes off as Delulu. So I feel like from a woman's perspective, it's just that sentiment that came out was just Delulu. Even from other women, it's just like, what?
And it's important. Boys should be exposed to that too, because their classmates are going through that. So it's like, it's like
I just quizzed my boyfriend on women's productive. I was like, because I read a BuzzFeed article of dudes saying dumb stuff. So I was like, wait, let me quiz you right quick. Like, do you know?
They don't know.
This is?
Wow.
So anyways, the controversy didn't faze me at all.
He did well. He did well.
It's a kids movie. Kids go through puberty, so it is appropriate. And I thought it was pretty good metaphor symbolism anyway with that scene too, with it happening.
I'm such a dude, I didn't even catch it. Oh man, that was fire, man. She trying to be that bear, bro. The bear.
The mom had all the things. She had all the different types of pads and stuff.
I'm not gonna lie. I still haven't seen Turning Red all the way through because it's hard for me to listen to boy band stuff. Very tough.
That's okay. And there's a lot of it. I love it.
Yeah, if I can sing better than you, it's hard for me to listen to you.
I sing better than them boy band members. You better stop it, sir.
I
got pipes. Yeah. Like listening to like 98 Below, listening to Out of Sync, the Wax Street Boys, like listening to those bands. It's hard because I gotta. Because I'm comparing you to the David Ruffins, right, to the Eddie Kendrickses. I'm comparing you to the Smokey Robins. That's what I'm comparing you to. And then if you I can't do what they do, but I can do what I can do what I don't know the names of the members from the boy bands. I don't know.
If anybody watched a couple years ago, they came out with like a boy band Christmas, you realize like Boys to Men and like one white dude is the only people that can sing for real. Because they didn't have like some of the people that can, like they didn't have JC Chauvet on there though. And so
like even
a lot of them that they had on there, I was like, oh, y'all was just faces.
Yeah, even one of the boy bands, I forgot the name, I forgot which one, but it's on a documentary on Netflix. They talked about how when they went in to start, working on their first album, or whatever, these white boys really wanted to do Motown shit. They really did. They were like, we grew up listening to Temptations, we grew up listening to Smokey Robinson, we grew up right, and they were honest. They said we tried, and the producer was like, you can't. It's not working. We have to do something else. You can't hit those runs. You can't hit those notes. You just can't do it. And they said, so we're going to rebrand you to this. And that's where you get the boy bands that you see today.
I heard
No, I'm not listening to your music. That's fine.
For sure.
Yeah, me personally, I'm like, it's hard for me to listen to that stuff because when you hear David Ruffin, talking about Ain't Too Proud to Bet, you can't. How do you? That's the level I want to hear. If you can hit that,
to be honest with you, Dre, nobody's coming to see Otis. I don't even know what Otis Williams looks like.
Right.
Like David Ruffin, for years.
But the Temptations play that came to LA was fire though. And Otis is still the only one. Ain't nobody came to see Otis, but he the one that's still alive.
All of them are dead. For years, I thought David Ruffin was Leon. Like Leon, I was like, oh, that's David Ruffin in real life. That's what he looks like.
And let's be clear, I'm not just talking about music either, right? The only musical I like is, because I'm not with like characters popping out of their character and going into song. I don't like that. But the only one I like is Little Shop of Horrors, and listen to the plant when he's singing. You know what I'm saying? Levi Stubbs. You hit like it that kind of soul just like grabs you. You know, it strangles you. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't do that, it's hard for me to listen to you. It's tough. So like Turning Red, I'm gonna get through the movie. I promise, because I want to see it.
Yes, I want to talk about it with you.
Well, I will get through it, but it's tough hearing that kind of it's tough. It's tough, man.
The only thing that concerned me about Turning Red when I saw the previews was I was afraid it was going to be Asian Americans co-opting Black culture.
Aquafina.
Because in the preview, she was like, I'm sassy and I'm this and I was like, oh my God. I'm like, is this going to be a whole movie of this little Asian girl trying to be Black? Like, is this what it is? But when I saw the movie, I was pleasantly surprised. Like, I enjoyed the movie quite a bit. I was like, okay, well, they're just being teenage girls or whatever, right?
I'm gonna watch it this weekend. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good one.
Okay.
And I feel like what Monique highlighted is the importance of the authenticity and being niche, is that even if it's very niche, you can still relate to it in some way. And I feel like that's what some studios are kind of worried about, but it's like kind of what Jorge said at Afro Animation Summit is like, you know, there's still a story there, even if all this culture is around it, there's still a story there. So for people to be afraid of the story or of the culture, actually, because he was talking about like the way you have to pitch is you got to kind of do the story first and then be like, oh, and it's like all Mexican stuff, because that's and so like it's unfortunate that you have to do that, but it's like you got to kind of judo mind trick people.
If it's fire, it's fire. That's what I'm taking from it. I didn't even know it was about a period until after the movie. I thought it was fire.
It's a coming of age story.
Man, it's about a girl trying to relate to her mom. Like, I just saw all those other things. If there was a period, I mean, y'all saying, I mean, everyone's telling me it's about a period. Then I guess
it's not about the period, but they made it about a period. People found something,
it's fire. As a dude, the head of the dude that liked Fire's coalition, it was fire.
The Fire Coalition.
Yes, I'm just saying.
It was Fire Coalition. That's
made things so complicated. Like, well, it's about, and that was it. Fire? Was it the juice? Did it have the sauce with the chef kiss? If it did, then just say and call it, bro. That's all it's about.
100%.
Chasing the fire.
That's real.
So I have two that are tied: The Lion King and The Land Before Time. And the reason is because I really like how both of those stories really tackled loss, as far as from a kid's point of view. It was done really well. It was done in a sophisticated way. And again, it goes back to Monique, the relationship we had before about making animation for kids and adults. Like, you can do both, right? And even as a kid, because I think The Land Before Time was like the second or third movie that I had seen in theaters in my life.
Oh, lucky you.
Wow.
So I was crying from the beginning. Like, I knew what was happening. Like the
title, tears.
Yeah, the title. And we bought the movie on VHS. And I was like, I feel like a cry today. And I knew I would put that thing in the VCR and it would be waterworks. You know what I'm saying? So when it really comes to the emotions that children, because Littlefoot was like a toddler basically in that movie, right? Mm-hmm. So it was like the things that the emotions that children go through. I think it was done extremely well for everyone to be able to relate to. And the same thing with The Lion King. And the thing about The Lion King, the only difference with The Lion King was I liked how it climaxed to a pop at the end of the movie. Because like at the end with the music and all that stuff, it was the first movie I had seen in theaters that got a standing ovation.
Wow.
Like seeing these movies were very emotional experiences for me. So to me, that's like movies. All of my movies that I watch and all the movies I write, that's the standard that they have to live up to.
That's a hell of a standard, bro. Standing ovations. That's a woo.
That's
Or
serious.
crying. You have to cry.
Standing ovation since.
That's serious.
Mine is a Goofy movie.
Nice.
You
For
got
obvious
soul.
reasons.
You got
Yeah.
soul.
Yeah.
Mine is it still hasn't been dethroned. Is The Secret of Nim. That's mine. Yeah, The Secret of Nim is like because, especially because of where we're at now, the things we talk about. People talking about how animation, back in the day, animation wasn't, it wasn't heavy, it wasn't sophisticated. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yes.
The Secret of Nim, single mom, right? Unassuming hero, right? That didn't have any skills when it came to the task that was set before her. She did not have the skills to get that done. But the one thing she did have was, I'm gonna take care of my babies. So whatever I gotta do, if I gotta go talk to an owl, owls eat mice. If I gotta go stand face to face with this big ass owl and have a conversation to take care of my kids, that's just what's gotta happen. I mean, it's got politics in it. It's got bigotry in it. It's actually got antagonists. They're not goofy. They're actual people that are just greedy, insidious, nefarious. They're just dark, right? And then there's actual humor within it. That's real humor. It's not slapstick to keep you interested in to keep you in the seat. Like that movie, the level of sophistication of that movie, man, and the fact that like Don Bluth left Disney to do his own thing. It was like, y'all ain't ready for this. I understand that. Let me go over here and just do it my way. That's like a testament to, we need to keep doing that, right? Leave here and just go do it our way. You know what I'm saying? Because he knocked out the park. And I still haven't found an animation that replaces that for me, for my favorite.
And the funny thing is, for that argument that it wasn't sophisticated, I feel like, and I've said it already, basically, was like, the problem today is everybody's trying to be over sophisticated. Everybody's trying so hard to be like, I don't know, something else. It's like, yo, just be dope. Just little. I keep saying it. Just be dope. Just be fire.
Now you got to sell T-shirts.
I feel like once that becomes the bar, once you just try to do that, then all those other things will come in place. Like, because real recognize real. Like you said, we still talking about.
And you looking real unfamiliar right now.
I'm just saying. I don't see you, Stevie Wonder, because you ain't real. But like, I think that's the thing. At the end of the day, we're still talking about Secret of Nim, are we? Like, it's a classic, it's a masterpiece, and a lot of these things, when you're trying to become a trending topic, in 5 minutes, we ain't gonna remember you.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm sorry, let me just step off of my food, man. You made some come out of me when you said it. I'm like, man,
that's real.
Now I
know a lot of people.
Now I get it. Y'all don't listen to these boy bands either now. So you got it already.
But Dre, I'm with you. I was a Don Bluth head too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Don Bluth, the first that was also Don Bluth.
Yeah, the Land Before Time, right? Don Bluth, and he just there was that sense of, are we having a conversation about making a good film, or are we wasting our time? Right? Everything else is a waste of time. Let's have a conversation about making something good. That's it. You know what I mean? And looking at The Secret of Nim, man, they pull no punches. You know what I'm saying? It's all there on the screen, and it's one of those things where it's like, listen, I'm a architect of making something great, and I'm not compromising, man. You know what I'm saying? Watch it or not. That's it.
Yeah. So we're gonna start wrapping up, but since if anybody have to drop off, feel free. But since Keenan brought it up, I did want to see this question. What, like you already kind of said it, Keenan, but like, what animated movie affected you emotionally and why?
For me, it was The Secret of Nim. It was same one because my mom, single mother. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And as much as we put her through,
I was literally about to say. So The Secret of Nim was your story, and then Don Bluth is you doing it. I said that in my head.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like it was emotional. Just why my mom was single. She was a single mother. You know what I'm saying? And I just remember all the stuff we put her through, and she looked over all that shit and was just there, was ready to kill and die for us. You know what I'm saying? So then looking at Mrs. Brisby, That's like, oh shit, that's my mom right there. You know what I mean? Because my moms would definitely go up against the owl in 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? She'll show up with like a bat or something, you know, or her 357 Magnum when she owned it at one point. But but that was like, it was cool to see that, right? To see this, because nowadays we see like, we don't have movies where it's like the strong woman that goes out there. Yeah, we do. Go back to 1984. You know what I'm saying? Because that was just, man, and the way they, if you watch the movie, I don't know if everybody here saw The Secret or Never or not, but you had people that were on her side, and you had people that were like, who is this walking up in here? You know, we don't deal with, you know, the rats didn't deal with the mice, right? It's like she's not one of us, blah blah blah. And it's like, you might want to check your ego at the door. She is one of us because her husband saved all of us. You know what I'm saying? And that's where she comes from. She comes from.
And people got short memories. People got
exactly
short
right.
memories.
They're hitting so many points. They're hitting so many points, but they're hitting it from the aspect of this woman that's just trying to take care of her kids, which is like, shouldn't you be cool with that? Shouldn't you be trying to help this woman that's fighting for her kids? Isn't that something that, can we put the other shit to the side and get on board? It's just dope the way it was. I just saw my mom in that. You know what I'm saying? So that's mine.
That's amazing.
Okay. I didn't want to talk first. I wanted to let y'all talk because I know I can talk a lot. So yeah.
Well, I
so yeah.
I was thinking. So I don't really have a lot of or animation surprisingly doesn't really evoke too much emotion out of me. It's just like excitement or like this is cool. Mm-hmm. So in terms of like, I've probably been most excited over Spider-Verse and just like Miles Morales being a more visual thing, and that just goes back to, as we were saying earlier, identity, because like I'm Afro-Latina, so seeing that representation was really, really dope and awesome, and I could only hope for more representation of Black people not being like a monolith and seeing so like more like West Indian, Spanish. We're seeing more people from the content and all the different variations and cultural backgrounds Black people come from. But I've also wanted to double back into just how we were talking about the sophistication of animation and Don Bluth projects, because I am like very much a Disney princess girl. However, I gravitated a lot to like The Swan Princess, Thumbelina, and Fern Gully. And I believe that's because, there was like more like at stake with those movies, even being like princess type stuff. You really, well, for me, felt like they had more to really lose, and that there was a possibility things weren't gonna be like happily ever after. And I really liked how he did that with those genres in comparison to Disney stuff, where like, and now as I've gotten older, even though there's still more princess movies, it's like I'm just older, so it's like really obvious that this is going to have a happy ending, and I just don't feel like the risk enough with that type of stuff. But yeah, I think Spider-Verse has been my most excitable thing, as well as Turning Red, and not too much. Like, I didn't even cry. I saw The Lion King in theaters too, and I was just more scared than like crying when Mufasa died. I thought like Scar was gonna jump out the screen. I was terrified.
Oh, it was brilliant too. Long live the king!
Oh no, it was Be Prepared. Woo! I was like, oh my gosh, get me out of here! Like, I ate all the popcorn.
You see that, and that's why the musicals mess with me, because when Be Prepared came on, it's just I'm rocking with it. You know what I'm saying? But when he sunk his claws right into Mufasa's claws, and right there, and he said, "Long live the king!" Woo! Incredible.
And that's the thing that pissed me off about the 2019 Lion King. Y'all copy bar for bar except that scene. Why?
Yeah. Why
not?
I couldn't get through that either.
Yeah, if you gonna plagiarize all the way, right?
Go all the way.
You took out the most important scene.
Go all the way.
That was just really a dramatic nature, Doc. That's what that was.
Yes,
very dramatic.
Like, go to National Geographic with that BS.
All they did was David Attenborough narrated that stuff. That was it.
That's it.
Like,
shout out to the technological advancements they did in achieving what they achieved visually, though. I'll give them that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll give them that. But yeah, that horrible movie though. Horrible.
Well, I feel like I have a lot of the obvious ones that are emotional, but like Onward was one for me.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow, break that down. Break that
Oh,
down.
my, Deborah, we have never talked about this.
You don't like Onward?
Me?
Exclusive.
Despise it. I erase it from my memory.
I feel like because I have like I don't know, it just be like anything with a dad, and like I just be afraid to lose my dad, and I just be like, ah.
That's
So,
fair.
yeah.
I couldn't get into it because I was like,
with a straight face, like
it was so much we've seen that character already in like Arthur Christmas and Spies in Disguise, just like lanky, skinny, like quirky kid thing, whatever, goofball. And I just could not get into the story because I'm just like, this is the same character we've been seeing for years.
I ain't seen that character before, so I enjoyed it. I'm like, oh man, way to go, man.
Well, maybe not visually, sure, but like that's a tropey character.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that joint was
Basically,
fire.
That's
basically Monique
like
got down for the
fire.
Tom Holland type.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I love Tom Holland, but not as that animated character trope. And
before him, it was what's the guy that did the voice of Hiccup in How to Train Your Dragon?
Yes,
That was the type before Tom Holland. All like Arthur Christmas and all them, they were him. They were Jay.
But it's the same character still.
Yeah,
you know, new voices coming into it. So
I just want to ask something real quick. I'm just curious, Trevor. In your opinion, tell me something that's anti-fire.
Anti-fire.
That was anti, because he right now, you know what fire. What's anti?
I ain't even seen the movie. I don't think Elementals is fire. I would be very surprised if Elementals is fire. What's something else? I mean, I could, you know,
AKA Pixar's Jungle Fever.
Oh, damn.
I mean, you said it, not me, but like,
I would
got Jungle Fever.
I would give it that if it was that, but since I'm there and I worked on it, it doesn't.
I mean, respectfully,
yeah, it doesn't come to that. You know what I'm saying?
I love Pixar. I'm not one of them people that thinks Pixar is on a run for bad movies. Like, no, like people like wasn't Encanto? Wasn't that Pixar?
Which one?
Encanto.
No, that's
Disney.
Disney.
Disney. Oh well. Listen, man, Pixar, right? So, but that wasn't it. That was anti-fire, even though one of the lead characters was fire. And
I have a theory on the whole Pixar being in the lead, and I work there, so you know what I'm saying. Whatever
everybody
smoke
has
comes,
their tips.
whatever smoke comes, whatever. But I think that Pixar was in the lead only because they were competing with very few people.
Yes.
I have that thought about a previous
because my thing
employer I work with as well.
Yeah, I look at Pixar. This is how I say it, because Pixar is dope, right? I look at Pixar as the Pistons, and now the Jordan came. Now with everybody being able to do content, Jordan now came into the league. Now you top notch, but you're top notch because Jordan hadn't arrived yet. You were only competing with Blue Sky, DreamWorks, Disney. Those were the four, right? Blue Sky, DreamWorks, Blue Sky, not DreamWorks, Blue Sky, PDI. Before DreamWorks bought PDI, it was PDI, and then Disney, and then Pixar. Those were the four. That's who you were competing with. You weren't competing with people doing like Love, Death, and Robots. You weren't competing with like Kenya Burris doing Intergalactic, right? You weren't competing with Sony doing Spider-Verse. You weren't, because I mean, personally, me. Let's travel back to when Toy Story first came out. If there was a choice between Toy Story and Into the Spider-Verse, they both came out at the same time. I'm going to watch Into the Spider-Verse.
Well, but it didn't. But it didn't.
But no, but I think that's why it was like Pixar in the heyday was number one, is because, and it's the same in any situation, right? The people that are that's why I think Ice-T made a good point. He said in an interview, he said, some people ask, would I rather be first or rather be best? I'd rather be first, because first can't be denied. Either you're first or you're not, right? But best is a matter of taste, right? So I think since Pixar was one of the first, it was easy to take that spot. But now, like, we can actually buy computers and make our own shit. You can't stop. We don't have to go through you to approve what we think is good or not. Now we're gonna see about what's better. You know what I'm saying?
It's not landed. You're right. I think there being more eyes changes the it just being them being the only big dog in town, but you still should be a big dog. You still should be able to bark, right? You know what I'm saying?
No,
So,
100%.
you know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, okay, you be over there, Steph, LeBron, but I still should be able to shoot my average and all. So them having a slump. Sometimes people have a slump, and people are like,
and I don't even call it a slump. See, I don't call that a slump, because if you think about it, if the worst film at Pixar is Elemental, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
You know, if that's their worst, I mean, we can bring up a whole bunch of shit right now that's just horrible, right? If that's Pixar's worst, they cool, they good. Now, talking about in competition with what's happening now, that's a different conversation.
Which is good. I mean, hey, as the Disney Pixar guy, hey, by all means, make a Spider-Verse.
I'm saying I didn't like Elemental either. You know what I'm saying? And most of the stuff, I didn't like Soul. I didn't like Elemental. You know what I'm saying? Visually, I like Lightyear because I'm a sci-fi nut, and I like the fact that Lightyear is a sci-fi film that happens to be animated. I like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm very much hell. I'm the dude that when I was at PDI, people didn't like to even ask my opinions on what we were working on, because I'm bringing down like work morale and shit. They were like, what do you think about, you know, they'd be like, what do you think about, matter of fact, Spies in Disguise. When I was at Blue Sky and I worked on Spies in Disguise, it was like, what do you think? I'm like, it's a movie with a white boy and a token Negro. I mean, it's bad. You know what I'm saying? And I told the director that. And the Negro turns into a pigeon. Yeah. And not the pigeon. The fact of the matter is you actually got this white dude and his sidekick, big black dude that don't do nothing but just shoot guns. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is bad. And catchphrases. It's horrible. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely the one that'll give my opinion on a movie.
Let's catchphrases at that.
Yeah, 100%. But I think like if that's Pixar's worst, they're cool. They're doing pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
But Dre, you mentioned the project real quick. Deborah, can you ask the question again real quick?
Yeah. The question was, which animated movie affected you emotionally and why?
Okay, so I have this love-hate relationship with Intergalactic.
Okay.
I've never seen it.
No, I feel like I do too.
And I'm emotionally attached to Intergalactic because I lived in New York for a while. And where did they live in Intergalactic? I lived in Brooklyn. But where did they live? Was it Harlem or something? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
So a lot of like, and I dated a lot in New York and all that stuff. So I like really, it was like something when I was watching this, like, oh, this is something that I miss. You know, when you're out and about, you're walking, you're meeting great black people, you know, beautiful black people, good like, but and you're hanging out, and then there's like the music scene, and it was that aura that I really enjoyed it. Intergalactic. Some of the dialogue in it, I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of heavy-handed, but
remember who funded it,
and also who was producing it too.
See, because I give grace to our stuff. I give grace to our stuff because again, where we have a different grading scale that we're forced to adhere to. Mm-hmm. We don't get the resource. We don't get the freedom and like carte blanche, right? So I give grace to our shit.
Well, as a black person looking at black art, there's certain things where I'm like, okay, that was a little too on the nose for me. That's really where my love and hate. Can
you give me an example, please?
So
there was like, yes, I want all that.
Jessica
shit.
Williams plays the love interest, right? Mm-hmm. And it's known that Jessica Williams is mostly in interracial relationships. Most of her relationships are with, and that's fine. But they had like this whole scene where she's like, "I don't mess with white boys," and the scene didn't really make any sense. Like the scene was unnecessary. You know what I mean? Because they have the whole back and forth where she has her friend. She's like, you know, you be out here, and the friend was all sassy and stereotypical. You know, you be out in these streets, blah blah blah. You don't want no white boy or whatever. And she's like, no, never. White boys cannot touch this melanated skin, or it was something weird. It was like it made me cringe. She's like, yeah, I can never touch this melanated.
Dang, I wish I knew that so I could have rolled my eyes.
Yeah, she goes, oh, white boy never touch this melanated Nubian skin or something. And it was like,
see,
I was like, this is weird.
This don't help us. This when they say this is why we can't have nothing. Why they put that up in there? That's wrong.
And that's why I was saying to you, Dre. I was saying you're like, well, who funded it? And I'm also like, yes, but also who produced it?
Right, but we gotta remember
to put bullshit.
But we gotta remember though, as Dame Dash said, the only person that matters in the end is who's writing the checks. That's who you're really catering to. If we want to be real and talk business, whoever's writing the checks, when they face cringes at something, the producer's gonna go change it because of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's why.
Go ahead, Deborah.
And that's why, Kenny, you were asking earlier the question about who, like if the I don't know what your question was, but you mentioned, is it the writers? And I'm like, the writers don't have a choice, like, so it's not them.
Nobody does. Nobody has a choice. It's the executive producer, unless the executive producer is really that confident in their people. He's like, whoever the executive producer, they give the money and they say, do what you want. You know what I'm saying? I trust you. And they leave. You know what I mean? If that doesn't happen, the fact money influences behavior, right? And if this person's paying you and that person's in the room sitting watching you talk about your film, and they're like, even if they don't say anything, just the facial expression, you're going to start adjusting your thinking. It's going to influence you.
But again, that goes back to the more co-op woke that the industry has become, the less.
Exactly. And that's why
they're actually able to thrive, because it's not about wokeness. It's about perception.
Absolutely. And that's why I give grace to stuff that comes out that was, because we have to give ourselves time to grow. We got to give ourselves the grace to make the mistakes and work with the wrong people and like try to get stuff out there. And here we are placating to this person and that person. We got to give ourselves the grace to do that so we can grow, so we can get our stuff out, so we can get our own shit built and then start doing our thing.
This dude has 20 TV shows on television.
But here's the
Dick Wolf.
Right. No. But here's the thing. Again, does he own the broadcasting networks? That's why personally I want to start making stuff and open Patreons where now now it's us and the viewers. There is no broadcasting networks, right? Because then we can really start doing our own thing. But if we're going to
1,000 true fans, 1,000 true fans.
Exactly. Now that if we're still going to the broadcasting networks, that's what we have to look at. We have to look at everything from a holistic standpoint and think about all the different like tariff barriers that we have to go through, right, to get our stuff on the airwaves.
Tariffs.
So just so you know, Dre has a lot more patience than I do. I'm
an ex-con. You learn patience in there.
We're definitely the yin and yang. He's the ex-con. I grew up in the cul-de-sac. It's all good. We're all here together. But to your point, Dre. That's where we're going. In general, like a lot of these, what's going to happen with a lot of these strikes is you're going to start seeing dismantling of a system because the white boys want to dismantle it. But we figure out how to. Basically, what it is it's going to be influencer, consumer, and traditional distribution, right? And I think it's getting to a point where we can actually cut out the middleman altogether.
Yeah, exactly. Then we can get busy.
Yeah, exactly. Because for example, what happened with the Taylor Swift thing, she doesn't have a distributor. She went straight to the source, right? And of course, she's white and has $1 billion and all that stuff. Yes, I'm acknowledging that. But at the same time, too.
And the first person that did that was Ryan Leslie. Let's just.
Yeah.
Boom.
But at the same time, too, we really should be paying attention because it's like all the stuff that we're being told, all the stuff about us paying our dues and all that stuff, it don't matter.
Yeah, it don't. It don't. That's right. Because at the end of the day, we don't own the broadcasting networks. You know what I'm saying? And let the record reflect. I was talking about this stuff in 2012. You know what I'm saying? Jay in the house.
Y'all stressing me out. I can't sit back on the sideline.
There we go.
She had a double Dutch in.
Listen.
What are we stressing you out about?
First of all.
Because Jaron always got thoughts.
Is that movie. I thought, what's the one y'all was talking about? Jungle Fever.
Elemental.
Elemental.
It
Yeah,
was
we talked
cute.
about this, Jay. We talked about
It
this.
was cute. I get it. I get where y'all coming from, but it was cute. It was
Which
cute.
one?
There's a lot of cute
Elemental.
stuff out there, though.
Y'all were talking about animated soundtracks. Nobody mentioned Prince of Egypt.
That's
That's why I invited you on here, Jared.
I know we have feelings about Lion King too, but you cannot deny that soundtrack.
I mean, well, if we're
Beyonce
talking about,
Were we
talking about soundtracks?
if we're talking about we were talking about soundtrack specifically, but I think Jay,
went off about
it probably called to her. It probably,
Oh.
that soundtrack, which I mean, yeah, the music was dope. You know, what
It
I'm
was
saying?
on the spirit.
Yeah, but the movie was like,
This is why I picked you, Jared, to fill the gap.
I know, yeah. I've been trapped at the airport for the last 2 days. Like I just landed.
damn, where you at?
I'm still trying to get. I'm trying to get to Brooklyn.
Okay, all right.
It's literally been no sleep till Brooklyn.
Oh no,
I heard that.
Brooklyn, I got a Brooklyn.
Good reference. Good reference. I like that. Good reference.
That's maybe your memoir. No sleep till Brooklyn.
No sleep till
Right? It's good to see y'all.
No, we gotta
Congrats, Deborah.
We gotta put
Thank
no
you.
sleep till Jaren.
No sleep till Jaren.
Like reaching her the
I
actual
don't know how
full
she
parent.
sleeps.
Say again?
Jared, like introduce yourself right quick so the people know to support you.
Okay, so I am Jaren J. Merchant. I am illustrator, animator, chief creative officer of an amazing company called Black Paper Party, where we basically bring gifting solutions to the culture for Black and Brown families throughout the holiday season.
And Trevor, introduce yourself.
Oh, hey, how's it ever? Hey, how everybody going? I'm Trevor Butler. I'm an actor and voiceover artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm animated, as you can tell. I'm not an animator. I can draw stick figures with my name next to
He's
them.
an animator.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a person who appreciates great animation. So I'm grateful to be on the stream. If you want to follow me, yeah, you know, watch me become the next, not the first Trevor Butler that graces the screen someday. Can't wait to show you.
But yeah, I know Jaren got thoughts about, you know, the Shrek soundtrack, you know, all the soundtracks. Y'all, you be having thoughts.
And me and her discussed Elemental. We discussed Elemental a little bit.
We had a very in-depth discussion about Elemental.
Yeah. And I just say it looks nice.
It looks good. It looks good. I'll admit for Pixar's run, it's not on their top tier, but I think they're in an experimental phase. I'll say that.
I work there, so yeah, they are.
Was Luca
They are
Pixar?
attempting, huh?
Was Luca Pixar? How did y'all feel about Luca?
It was Pixar.
I love Luca, honestly.
Luca was dope.
Yep.
It was okay.
Ooh, Monique.
No, I don't take it. I don't take that. Jay and I also talked about Luca.
Yeah.
The little facial expression, I be clocking it.
Right.
I saw the little twitch.
I be clocking it.
Well, Jay and I already talked about it, so it's just natural reaction.
A lot of, like I said, a lot of stuff nowadays is just for me. It's just okay. You know what I'm saying? Because again, they're putting the cart before the horse, right? Like you were saying, Trevor. They're not just thinking, "Is it fire?" You know what I'm saying? They're checking boxes for quad, whatever, preteenness. Our criteria for family films is this. They're having all these conversations that have nothing to do with talking about making films, and it comes across. And so I'm just not. It's hard for me to just, and I'm comparing it again to stuff like Secret of Nim. You know what I'm saying? So, what do you want me to do? You know what I mean? Yeah.
And for me, with Luca and Turning Red, I feel, and I know they released Soul like almost in a trifecta, but Luca and Turning Red, I felt like it was starting to seem like they could be going in a direction of really, again, niche storytelling, you know, where Soul was like, for me, like a fake attempt, because I feel like that could be interchangeable. But with Luca being such a specific story about the small town in like Italy or whatever, I was like, wow, is Pixar really about to like really give more people voices and opportunities to tell more like unique, specific stories versus stuff like Elemental coming out?
I mean, it's like, I don't know if Luca was, I mean, it's still, you know, okay, we're not talking about white folks eating steak in America. We're talking about white folks eating pasta in Italy. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's still the same. It doesn't have a different, because my thing is, I think real stories are interchangeable. right? If you take like the story of like losing a loved one, right? That's basic. It's the lens you apply, and how real is that lens that you apply? How well examined and understanding is that lens? That's where they make the mistakes. They bring in these new lenses that they don't know how to use, and it's like, why don't you just stop doing that and go back to making stuff with all white folks?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that because I like Secret of Nim. You know what I'm saying? Secret of Nim is still my favorite animation. Just do what you want to do. That's my thing. Don't fake that you like something. Just do what you want to do and leave it at that.
Yeah, just make innovative, engaging art. We make it so hard. And if you don't have a black person on there, just have them be a dope black person versus making it so plainly obvious. We put them there because they're black. Yeah. Like, no, just make it great. That's all we asking for.
But Trevor, you asking for a lot, Trevor. You asking for a lot for them to do that.
I'm just saying, just make it fire. Make it fire. Black Panther worked because it was fire.
I'm going to make a shirt with Trevor's face on it, and it's going to say "Have Fire Mode."
Like my head going to be on fire, like the dude from Elemental. Like, I just make it fire. That's it.
But again, it's those buzzwords going back to representation, right? Because we have to remember that this representation is not. It's like when you're working at the Frito-Lay plant and you're the inspector and you're walking around and you're like, okay, we got lemon juice, we got we got some tahini, we got some cheese dust. It's because again, what it is a lot of these corporations, because like the ESG scoring, you know what I mean? Like ESG, and the reason a lot of these companies built DEI programs and stuff like that as well is because they were told that they would get a certain amount of money if they were diverse, right? And then you saw the Academy of Motion Pictures. They go, if you want to qualify for a best picture, you have to have this and this and this in it to show that you're diverse. It goes back to the conversation that we had about the janitor and the executive assistant. That's how these people think. They're not doing it because they want to, right? And then so we have these conversations about representation, and you start seeing. I'll give you an example of how representation done wrong. Has anyone here seen Indiana Jones 5?
I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, I'm not going to give a spoiler, but there's a black character in Indiana Jones 5, and it's obvious that it's representation, right? Mm-hmm. They have a black young lady who is a CIA agent in 1969.
Oh yeah, you told us.
Yeah, that's like that don't even make no sense.
It doesn't make sense in the sense because if you know any historical context, the only black people in America that were involved in CIA, FBI operations were used to dismantle the civil rights movement.
Right.
So basically, you have this lady working with the bad guys and all that stuff. Spoiler alert, working with the bad guys and all that stuff, who, historically speaking, was involved in the assassinations of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Right?
Now let's take it a step further, though.
Yo, go ahead.
They put her in there because they like that. They like that there was black folks that were Sambos and working with it and working with it.
So either it was a conscious decision or they just don't know history, right? But they're like, oh no, we have to check these boxes and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. Even when you think about it, that's somewhat, if we lean into the historical context, that's a very interesting story on its own, right? But they're not
the motivation of the person. Yes,
the motivations. So when we talk about these people playing black characters into these big blockbuster movies and all that stuff to check a box, they don't even respect us enough
to do research,
to actually do the research and make us care like real characters.
And the movie wasn't.
They know the history. They know the research. They're rewriting it.
Yeah.
I'm with Jaren. I don't think it's based on ignorance. I think they're making. I can't say a person that runs a successful company for 30 years is ignorant. I can't do that. They're obviously smart.
Well, I mean, Disney has been rewriting history since Walt died. So,
you know, you can have some blind spots in it. I don't know. I'm gonna keep saying make it fire till the day I like, because that's all I care about. Like, make me. I don't know. What was it? Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when somebody wasn't there. I forgot which sitcom it was. Basically, the lady said when dude was stripping and he wasn't really stripping, she like, make me give you my money. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, make me want to give you my money. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. I like to go to the movie theater. Make me want to call off work and want to go see a movie. That's all. That's all I want to do. Because I love this thing. I love this thing. I want to be in a movie theater crying, standing up, clapping like Run Dead and Secret of Them. I want to do it.
That's actually the power that Black movies have, at least with our community, because I didn't get to see the blackening in the theater, but I wanted to experience the blackness. I was like, I'm gonna go to a black area because one thing I can't stand is watching a black play, a black musical, or a black movie in an audience of white people and they laughing at stuff that's not supposed to be funny. So I'm gonna go to the black area where we laughing at the appropriate parts, and I can feel that energy. I know some people don't like that, but I'd be like, I don't like it for every movie, but I like it. Like, oh yes, give the call a response. Yes, I need the culture.
Yeah, I saw the blackening in Burbank, and surprisingly, all the black people in Burbank came out to see it. I was sitting next to
subtle shade.
I was sitting next to a white family that did not give a fuck, but everybody else in the movie theater enjoyed it. It was a very much an enjoyable experience watching the black people. It was funny. The black people got it, and it was like we were talking to the screen and stuff. Like like the people that made the blackening, they knew what they were doing. They're like, oh, this is like talk. This is an interactive movie. That's what this is. Because the way they made it, you're like, oh yeah, this is like a talk to the screen movie, right? And it's funny, and then I'll say it's now, shut up. It was like I lived in New York when Black Panther came out, and I saw Black Panther 6 times. And the first 5 times I saw it was in Harlem, in Brooklyn, the Lincoln Center, and like I think I saw it twice in Brooklyn. I saw it twice at the Lincoln Center. I saw it once in Harlem. And then I saw it at the Alamo Draft House in downtown Brooklyn the last time I saw it. And it was mostly a white crowd. And when the movie was over, they were like, oh, that was okay. Versus people were coming dressed up and clapping and cheering. And no one laughed. Huh?
I want to add something to that. And that's what you're talking about is what I've been saying. There's nothing wrong with tribalism. You know what I'm saying? The fact that what was cool is the fact that Feige told Coogler, I don't know shit about, this level of blackness, so I'm going to get out the way. And look at what we got.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. But will we get that on a regular basis? No, we will not. Not unless we have our own, not unless the buck stops with us, basically. Feige was just, for some odd reason, he was and actually, Feige there was another person in the room too. I forgot his name, but there was a brother in there that nudged Feige.
Nate.
I was like, just let Ryan do his thing. Trust me.
Yeah, his name is Nate.
Nate, okay.
Nate, he's always Nate Moore. He's always the guy that every time there's like a black something that comes through Marvel Studios,
right?
He's the guy that becomes like between
Kevin. And so Feige was just smart enough to be like, you know what? Let me just stay out the way. But again, it's not for me. It's like tribalism is fine with me. I like niche because if you make something for everyone, you make it for no one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to see if I'm watching a film about something that's going on, say like Caribbean culture. I don't want nothing else in the movie. Give me 100% uncut Caribbean culture. And if I'm watching some, I don't know if y'all seen The Town, but The Town is about,
fire.
The Town is like, I've seen that movie like, I don't know how many, 30 times, but it's about straight up, poor ass white boys that grew up learning how to rob banks. It was a family trade and it was in South Boston. That movie is fucking incredible.
Fire.
And it's like, don't add anything to it's about South Boston.
Yeah.
Just leave it there. You know what I'm saying? And I think for us, we don't get that though. We don't get to do that. It's like, make me a film that takes place in Compton.
Yeah, but all right, bro.
We won't get that. You know what I'm saying?
They'll have the obligatory white number. Yeah,
Wait,
yes. Kazazimoto.
Like that was unapologetic. I really like that.
What movie?
Kazazimoto on Disney Plus. The anthology
series.
Hold on.
with all the African people.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
And their
I saw the first 2
animations.
episodes. I have to finish it. Yeah, that was good.
I gotta watch it a second time.
Yeah, I gotta get through. Right now, I'm in the middle of My Dad's Bounty Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I need to
yeah.
do that too.
I
Yeah.
haven't watched it yet. I have
pretty
to.
good.
I've
I
been
have to go
watching
back and
Super
watch it.
Team 4.
Hey y'all, I gotta hop off real quick. But congrats, Deborah. So good seeing
Thank
everybody.
you.
We'll connect offline.
All right, Jay.
All right, y'all. Bye. Be safe.
Peace.
Super Team 4. Have anybody been watching Super Team 4?
What's that on?
Netflix.
Okay,
That's
I gotta check that
African.
out.
That's in. Is
That's a
that
lot of stuff I gotta
Zambia?
catch up with, man. A lot of stuff I gotta catch up with.
Yeah. I got into My Dad's Bounty Hunter late, and then I started watching the African anthology on Disney Plus, and and then I got busy working on some other stuff. So I have to go back and watch that. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of dope Black content on available.
It's cool to be overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's a ton. It's a ton. It's just, streaming. I think streaming kind of like overwhelms us in general. I think like a lot of people kind of are not watching as much as. That's why a lot of streaming services are losing money right now, because I really think a lot of people are kind of like losing their way as far as like all the content that's come out. But support the Black stuff.
Also, anybody watching, if you haven't watched Voices Rising, the music of Wakanda Forever on Disney Plus, go watch that. Particularly the first episode is really good.
Voices Rising. Well, I got a lot of homework.
Because it shows how I got to go to a panel with Ryan Coogler and Ludwig Göransson, and it just goes through them working together. And even I think, what is it, David Jordan, he mentioned how he's never seen a director and a composer work together like that. The first episode is Nigeria past is present, so they go to Nigeria and get all these, like Ludwig, that's an ally. And then the second episode is Mexico, so the music for that portion of the show of the thing. And then the third episode, I mean, that's cool. But the first episode,
Damn.
the third episode is in London, but it's just like, it kind of, I don't know. I like the first episode.
What's the name of the project again? The music project?
Voices Rising, the music of Wakanda Forever.
Voices Rising. Yeah,
but Ludwig, he was like, he went to the continent, he went to Nigeria, and the people on the continent was like, how he know about this music instrument? Like, he does so much research to be accurate.
I mean, Ludwig does wear. He's always dressed in one of those like Inca shawls all the time, and he like sits on his floor in his apartment and like writes.
Sometimes there's something about foreign white people that's different.
Because he'd be barefoot. He'd be walking around with no socks on.
Wait, who's this?
The composer for Black Panther.
Oh, he doing his thing, right?
Him and Ryan went to graduate school together.
Yeah, didn't he do Ryan's first film? Like, hasn't he done all of Ryan's films?
Yeah, that's pretty much he did I think did he do Fruitvale Station? He did Creed.
Yeah, he did Fruitvale. I'm looking at him right now.
Wow.
He did Fruitvale, he did Creed.
That's that piece about networking. He didn't know who Ryan Coogler would be, but he was friends, and then he got to be composer for Black Panther. That's the same thing with Aaron Covington, who I interviewed on my channel. He went to grad school with Ryan Coogler. And
yeah, that's why we got
a writer for Creed.
That's why we gotta.
You don't just network with the people above you. You never know what someone is going to be in 5 years.
Real talk.
So don't treat nobody with no disrespect.
We're in a room of killers right now. Y'all don't even know. Room with killers. And you're gonna be, man, I wish I was nice.
Right.
I won't seek revenge on the ones that wronged me. I just won't fuck with you.
You won't be like Arya Stark.
No, I ain't gonna do that, because that takes energy, and my energy is precious.
Amen.
I'm just gonna let you do your thing without me. Yeah.
And it won't be as good.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so we can wrap it up. Does anybody have any final thoughts?
Trevor, I just followed you.
Hey.
So you know, hit that follow.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, yes.
I don't post nothing, but I saying I follow.
But
you
he
so
responds.
I can keep up with your content and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Me neither. So
Yeah, it's hard. I'm learning the social media thing. I'm trying. I'm trash at it.
same. I mean,
Yeah, I'm so trash at it. I like this. This is what I like for like learning about folks, talking to folks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, man. Thank you. I definitely follow you back. So
definitely.
I won't follow you as well.
Hey.
Do you give like regular commentary and stuff? You be on there just talking shit?
Me? No, like
you should.
He had a little thing on my channel for like a couple episodes, but he ain't had time to do it. But like, watch his two. Look, he did one on Dragon Ball, and he did one on Soul, I think.
My mind just made the connection because I saw those.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay. I'm like, I was about to follow. I was like, oh man, she already follows me. I already follow her. Wow.
This is the Trevor.
Yes,
that was my first try like content creation.
I think I was on a hard drive somewhere. Did I record? I wish that thing where I met you was recorded. The Pixar, or like, was it picking the top 3 Pixar movies or something like that? That's where I met him, on Clubhouse.
And
I met Keenan on Clubhouse too.
I think Trevor, you also need to start the JBF coalition. Get your shirts together, right? Just be fire.
Just be fire.
JBF coalition, you know what I'm saying, and get them shirts going and whatnot.
Man, listen, I might need to do that for real, because like we get so lost in it. But yeah, man, I just talk. I talk too much, but I talk.
No, definitely put up more commentary because you're hilarious. Yeah, definitely.
If we could get an editor, he could continue with his thing on my channel.
Oh my gosh, listen, man, you know what I'm saying?
I might have one for you.
Did you too?
Oh, wait, boom! There's one right there. Look, see that? What did Keenan say just a minute ago? Room full of killers.
Oh
man, we offer editing services, so
boom.
I feel like Trevor, if you kept going, you could be big.
Yeah, I agree. just from this experience right here. Just from this experience right here.
That talent, it could like.
I agree.
Hey, man,
untapped talent, Trevor Butler.
Listen, stop gassing me up, y'all. Gonna be running outside screaming in my neighborhood now.
Yeah.
Just be quiet.
You gotta do a frolicking video. It's gonna be a year late, but hey.
What's a frolicking video?
I think
you ain't see the black men frolicking.
No,
black men frolicking.
Yes, I think we all need to bring back black men frolicking right now. Our PR is kind of trash right now, fellas. So we need.
This brick situation. Y'all are trash.
I mean, that's a whole. I have my thoughts on that, but I will reserve that for.
Not on this live, but like, yeah.
Yeah, we need to kind of regain our
reputation is in the trash on TikTok.
So if we're gonna do a frolicking video, I think I'll do mine. I'm gonna go up north, find some of my folks that are cultivators, and I'm gonna frolic through a field of just beautiful, you know what I'm saying, cannabis.
Oh, that'll do it.
That'll be mine.
I should frolic when I was in
you should recruit people, Dre. I feel like you should get all your hardest friends and y'all create frolicking videos.
I will say this: out of all of them, I think maybe a 2-3% might do it. The rest of them gonna look at me like I got 3 heads. Like, the fuck you talking about, man?
Well, you know what? They just not cool.
No, they just gonna look at it like it's some ops shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can be like, what the fuck that mean? Who talking? What is that? Where that come from? Who backing it? That's,
you know what? I have a feeling that people don't know what ops means anymore. People.
Oh yeah, I saw your Facebook status.
When they're just unfamiliar with something, they're like, "Yo, you the ops," and you're like, "I don't think you know what that means."
Right. Well, they definitely do. And
what's the Princess Bride? I don't think you. What's the Princess Bride called?
Oh,
You're using that word. I don't think you know what it means. Something like that.
Yeah.
I think I messed it up, but
Well, I definitely know the option. My folks, they hear a fucking word like frolic. Yeah, like, bro, what? Wait, hold on. We gotta investigate. You know what I'm saying?
Are you do you have a wire on you?
You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
if
Like,
any of the black men in the chat do a frolic video, tag me and I'll post you on my story.
Hey, I would not be able to hang around your friends at all because I say salutations and shit.
yeah, they'll eat you food. You food.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. And believe me, there's some folks here I won't bring you around because yeah. You know, they understand.
Yo, switch of the code is broke.
Yeah, again. It's just about like he'll remain nameless. But one of my boys, you know what I'm saying, he carries a 40. You know what I'm saying, with him everywhere. And all it is, it's about paranoia. What he been through. Period. It has nothing to do with anything else. He paranoid because of what happened to him, and he ain't gonna be caught slipping again. So when he's sitting next to you, there's a 40 on his waist right there, and I ain't talking about no beer.
Oh, I was about to say, oof, he's paranoid and thirsty.
No, it ain't no beer. It ain't no beer. You know what I'm saying? He ain't playing. And when he feels funny, yeah, I'll be like, hey, let's go. Let me take you home. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I don't think I ever meet him. That's okay.
Yeah. He wanted them cats. He wanted them cats that do this. When he do this like this, I'll be like, nah, come on, let me take you home. Let me take you. Let's go.
Grace like, I'll never bring you around some of my boys. I'm like, that's okay.
hey, listen, he the same way. He just I'm like,
Keenan, you know what? That means you could teach classes to some white people.
Yes, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Like, be okay with not being included.
Yeah, he all right. He all right where he at. He love what he doing. He chilling. You know what I'm saying? I go through. We'll blow something real quick. You know what I'm saying? We kick it and talk, and yeah, that's it. Some people know where they're supposed to be.
I got a company to run. I'm good.
I mean, when it comes out, he one of the cats though. Here's the thing: he one of them cats that I know when the kitchen gets real hot, he's just fine.
Look,
he ain't changing.
He can come with me on tour and stand in front of the stage.
He could, and you would be just fine.
Yeah, that's fine. That's great.
I need that just fine. Yeah,
Keenan, like when Duce Sloan said, "I'm second generation brunch black people."
Yeah.
That's real. If you did put him in front of the stage, yes, you would be safe.
I got him and my boy back from New York. That he used to be security at this place I used to work at, and he was like, "Yo, man, whatever you need, I'm down." I'm like, "All right, come, let's."
Hey, maybe I'll talk to my boy about it. You know what I'm saying? Because actually, you know what? He passes the Nicole test because you know Nicole don't like too many people. Period. Right? And she loves him. She's like, he can come to the house anytime. He cool people. You know what I'm saying? And so he passes the Nicole test, and that's saying a lot.
You just have to pull out of it.
I just wanted to thank all of y'all for helping me celebrate 2,500. Now 2,530. Subscribers.
Congrats to Deborah.
That's dope.
Deborah's like definitely one of the cultural curators of what we have, what we
Absolutely.
love. Hell yeah.
And them subscribers is true. I ain't buy them or nothing.
There you go. That's right. Earned.
That's fire.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Oh, nice. That's dope.
That's dope right there. Man.
That's dope.
I always say stuff like that's better than any kind of weird ass award or trophy. That's real. That was real right there. That was sincere.
Mm-hmm.
So again, as we roll off, just tell people where they can follow you and what they can support you doing. Start with Keenan.
Hey everybody, you can follow me on Instagram at Keenan J. Floyd. Is right there in the bottom. I don't know, left, right. It's at the bottom of my screen. You can follow me on Instagram, please. You can also go over to. I have a YouTube too that no one follows, but
I follow you.
My
friends follow me, but let's continue the follow so we can get the out. I do a little videos and stuff on there too. And any events, any shows I'm doing or anything like that, I mention on my Instagram and on my YouTube. So again, thank you so much, Deborah, for having me.
Do a tour?
Huh?
Are you about to do a tour?
I keep trying to do a tour every year.
Oh,
Is it actual, right? Like,
I heard the frustration in the tone. There was
I try. I go out and do a couple dates, and then I come back home. And
Did you already do the dates?
Yeah, I mean, I got back from a place called Oroville, California, the other day.
I know about that. That's right. That's 15 minutes north of Marysville.
Which, if you don't know where Oroville, California is, it's famous for shooting the O.J. Simpson blockbuster, The Klansman.
And it's also famous for the Oroville Dam.
And the Oroville Dam. We did go see the lake.
And it's also famous for the amount of meth that comes out of there.
Yes, from Sacramento.
Yeah, mind you, my boy I was talking about, that's real paranoid, that carries the 40. He stayed for a long time. He was in Oroville.
That's not saying much, but please follow me on Instagram and on my YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Congratulations on 2,500, Deborah.
Thank you, Trevor.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? You can follow me at that ad. I just added Trevor W. Butler on IG. If you can find me anywhere else, I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm saying. But yeah, like just any of those places, and I'm trying to be better as well, like posting on social media. So pretty soon, God willing, I'd like to be starting to post more of my opportunities I get blessed with. So just watch out for me and stay tuned. Yeah.
Monique?
Yes. So you can follow me everywhere at Simple Robotics, spelled just like that. I want to encourage you to keep up with me on social media because the short film that I'm producing, we're going to be doing a crowdfunder, and that's going to be going live for Hispanic Heritage Month. So I'm not asking you to contribute, though it would be dope, but I would love the support and just amplifying the crowdfunder when it goes, when it goes live, the links and stuff like that. So
we got you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Definitely support.
Dre.
It's hard to follow me because I'm usually not posting on social media. But if you wanna like see like content where I'm saying stuff, you know what I'm saying? Definitely go to the BlkWmnAnimator. Go talk to Deborah because we've had many deep discussions about just life and all kind of stuff. So you can find me on there. And once I get to a certain point with once I establish proof of concept for the short that I'm working on, I'll probably be jumping on Deborah's channel. I'm definitely gonna be sitting down with Monique. I'll be sitting down with Keenan and like all the folks here. So once when I talk when I have something to say. I don't talk just because I have to say something. So when I have something to put out there to y'all, I'll pop up, do my thing, and I'll disappear back into the obscurity. That's how I run mine. So just keep your eyes open because you might miss it.
And for me, you can follow me on BlkWmnAnimator everywhere. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want to follow my personal work, it's Deb the 3D Modeler. And if you want to learn how to use Blender, you can't sign up for my modeling class right now, but you can sign up for my animation class. If you live in California, it's free to take the class. So I'm doing the animation class starts September 25th. And I feel like the cool thing about it is like because of me having a social media presence and even a LinkedIn presence and the people that share it, I have a lot of like people of color in my class and a lot of Black people in my class. So that's
awesome.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
That the people that my people get to benefit from learning from somebody that looks like them, and other people get to benefit of learning from somebody Black. Because it is a benefit. So if anybody's interested, particularly if you live in California, it's not no money out your pocket. No clue what it costs for other people. It's an online class. But I feel like I'll probably be teaching it again in the spring. But yeah, if you want to learn Blender, hit me up. Do the class. All right. So thank you again, everybody. Thank you, everybody in the chat. For being we was holding strong at like 14. Usually it's like 2 or 6. So thank you for all the people that stayed the whole time. And thank you y'all for helping me celebrate. And we will see you next time. Like
Sure.
so a no scroll, comment, and tell me how you feel. Subscribe to the and sign up for post notifications to show your zeal. And we'll see you in the next video.
Deuces.
Jeez, stay dope.
Absolutely.
Make it fire.